Jolton got road work, only one lane open, 24 eastbound past Whites Creek Pike. Metro Center, a crash on the right shoulder, 65 northbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. Brake tapping starting to slow things down northbound 65 up to the South Loop. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, kids, here we are. Here we go. Another day, another dollar for the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Pleased you've decided to join us. Thank you so much for indulging us for the next 4 hours or however much time you're able to give us. We're certainly appreciative of that. It is episode 1024. Should have been 1025. I'll get into that in just a second. Episode 1024 of our visits together on Super Talk 99.7. And we appreciate you no matter how you might be listening or watching the show. You can listen, obviously, on 99.7 FM from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. A variety of different apps. I mean, we're just everywhere, man, on the intraweb. You can find us on our website, 997WTN.com. You can find us on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, all of the apps. We have our own app, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And then, of course, there's Talk TV, which is up and running, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Join us there. YouTube chat's always a baldy place. You can also find us on the Super Text line if you want to interact, or the phone lines. More on that in a second. Today, well, before I get to today, I want to get to yesterday. I sincerely apologize. I absolutely hate absences due to illness. I have a deep-seated fear of being Wally pipped one of these days. For those who do not know, if you know, you know, and you know what I'm saying. If you don't know, Wally Pipp was a well-liked, a beloved first baseman for the New York Yankees until one day he decided to tell his coach that he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go to work. He didn't want to work that day. He needed a day off. Claimed he had a headache. Wally Pipp later on said that he was legitimately sick. Many believed that Wally was hungover. Either way, he decided to call out for a day. And they put in a young, intrepid first baseman by the name of Lou Gehrig. And Lou held on to first base for 2,130 games. Wally was eventually traded. Bottom line is this: I don't want to be out due to illness because I'm afraid of Wally Pipp. But I thank Brian Wilson for stepping up to the plate. I could not have done the show yesterday. I'm sorry for y'all tuning in and wanting to hear a conversation about a variety of issues. We'll get into all of it today. Thankfully, we have just an absolute professional like Brian that was willing to step up and help us out, and I so appreciate him. I appreciate his friendship first and foremost. I appreciate his professionalism and the fact that in Watertown, Tennessee, he can flip a switch or two and be on the ready, and we do appreciate that. And I understand that he did a great job. I understand that y'all had a lot of fun yesterday, and I'm sorry that I missed it all. But could not have answered the bell. A little fever, and E convinced me that discretion was a better part of valor in terms of doing a show, because even if I was able to make it through yesterday, a fever indicates that you're still infected, and infection indicates that you're contagious, and contagions, spread around a radio station, and you can knock one down. So we decided to stay out yesterday. So, but today I feel better. Fever broke yesterday evening, and I am a little congested, a little snarfly, a little whatever. But we will sally forth and make it through the program on this Friday edition. Now, I'm excited. Could not have missed this because it is our first Twin Creeks visit of the season. We've been doing this for a number of years, and it never gets old, folks. Tim, every year that we come down here, and Kirby is always on site with us, and Kirby's a testimony to this. Every time I've done remotes at Timms Ford Lake, we've had people come by and say, y'all need to stop coming to Timms Ford Lake because we don't need all these people learning about Twin Creeks Marina. We don't need all these folks learning about the jewel that is Timms Ford Lake in the state of Tennessee. All those Nashville folk need to just stay away, and I love it because I think it's all in good fun and in good humor. But, I say it's in good fun. They mean it. But we're here to tell you about it. I'm sorry for those people that want it to be the hidden gem. It is one of the top waterfront destinations in the state of Tennessee. It is about an hour or so outside of Nashville. Surprisingly, I thought I'd be a lot closer when I moved to Mount Pleasant. I'm actually further away just because it's kind of – you got to cross country. I'm on the other side of 65, so you kind of got to take it cross country a little bit. Went through Fayetteville. I don't think I've ever been through Fayetteville, but I went through Fayetteville today on the way over here and went on the outskirts of Lynchburg. Started to stop by JD, but that probably would have ended badly. Or well, depending on your perspective. But decided just to come on into lovely Winchester and to Twin Creeks Marina. This is just a wonderful opportunity to get away for the weekend. If you don't know about it, they've got cabins available. They've got boat rentals available. We'll talk about them all day today, but it's a true gem in the state. Waterfront marina, there's drafts and watercrafts, which is a great restaurant here. We always fill up every time we're down here, and we invite you to do that as well. There's 400-plus boat slips. It's a full-service marina. I mean, you get the idea, right? So, and there's a floating restaurant that would compare to anything that you'd find in Nashville, right on the water, right on the lake, with a full bar and a laid-back atmosphere. Scotty and his team do a great job. So we invite you to stop by. You could, as a matter of fact, come down tonight, and they've got televisions out on the dock. You can watch the second and third round tonight. Yeah, second and third round of the draft tonight. Yeah, so you can watch the second and third round of the NFL draft if you so desired, right at Twin Creeks Marina. So come and see us. We'd love to see you, unless your name is Bob. If you're Bob, I don't want to see you. You remember Bob? Bob was Bob was angry at me. He was for those that know, you know. If you don't know, just suffice it to say that I was offering an opinion about the CIA and the FBI and certain under-the-radar aspects of our federal government, and Bob took exception to the manner in which I was characterizing it. And Bob, I felt like Bob wanted to fight. I felt that way.
Well, to quote Bob,
You
need to talk about stuff you know what you don't know what you're talking about. You could talk about stuff you don't know anything about.
And I invited him to I invited him to be on the show with me. I said, "Well, I can't do that. I had top secret classifications, and I can't tell you." It reminds me of that thing that you do when you get into a discussion with people. This happened to me when I was in college. I was arguing with my best friend's father about something, who had been in the military for years and was in Army intelligence and was legit, right? And I've always been a pretty good debater, and I felt like I had him in a corner. I had him. And he said, "Son, I know things that I can't tell you about that prove I'm right." I was like, "Well, what do you mean? So I should just give up?" Okay. Bob felt that way too. Okay. Anyway, Bob, you're always welcome to stop by and say hello to us. We miss you down here at Tim's Ford Lake. Come on down. We'll put you on the radio. 3449 said that I don't know. I might have said that I was at Twin Peaks. I'm a little out of it. I'm on drugs, so one way or the other, we're at Twin Creeks Marina. Twin Creeks. If I said Peaks, that's a different place. That's down the road. That's a nice place to be too. To each their own. So we are. We're excited to be here. We've got lots to discuss, as you might expect, not the least of which is the end of the legislative session. We're going to get into that coming up in just a couple of minutes. We're going to take your telephone calls. Here's what I'll ask of RJ. RJ, I love phones. I love the phone lines. I know that you love to do it too. RJ's going to take those phones off hold right now because we're going to get into it on a First Amendment Freestyle Friday. Anything on your mind, 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. All right, we got some riders coming here. I love that too. Come on. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was if I had not been sick, next time, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a commitment. Next time we do this, I'm coming on the Harley. Cuz that drive's too nice, man. We have so many beautiful places on the back roads of the state of Tennessee. Unincorporated farmland that is still as absolutely gorgeous as you can possibly imagine, and I invite you to get out. That's one of the reasons I love to ride, because you get out and you just see the beauty that is the state of Tennessee. And, frankly, I guess the cities have their own type of beauty, but, you hate seeing some of this farmland eaten up and turned into developments. And I understand that progress is what it is, but you just hate to see some of it. But you don't see that in some of these rural places that we're talking about. So phone lines are open, 615-737-9986. We talk about virtually anything on the show Monday through Thursday. On Friday, we make a specific point to turn our attention to those subject matters that you want to discuss, and you're invited to give us a call with that in mind at 615-737-9986. For you shy types, you may always get in on the super text line. It's the exact same telephone number. Just text us as opposed to calling us, and you'll get through in that fashion. We've got one guest. That would be Jay St. Clair and our Fry Jay segment. And we'll take your calls and questions regarding legalities. Jay is our legal expert on the Matt Murphy Show, and he joins us every Friday at 4 o'clock. On the phone this week, for you ladies in the audience that love watching Jay on the Talk TV, I'm sad to say phone this week because we got so much going on. We got our sports, our brother station, 104.5 The Zone. They're all over the NFL draft yesterday and today, and they're all out and about. A lot of things going on this weekend, and we're down here at Twin Creeks, so just a lot of moving parts. So we were unable to get Jay a camera set up. So he'll be on the phone at 4:05 this afternoon. I will get into the leftist reaction to the accusations being made against one of their beloved institutions, the Southern Poverty, or the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. The SPLC has long been a shakedown organization, and whatever good they did at the beginning of their history in the 1970s and 1980s, and let's not be guilty of doing what others do and rewrite history in a way that benefits our narrative. Okay? The Southern Poverty Law Center was an organization that did good work back in the 1970s and 1980s. And I will give due credit to what they managed to accomplish. Morris Dees, an attorney that founded the SPLC, he was eventually run out of the SPLC because of sexual harassment claims, something that no one on the political left will talk about, even as they talk about what a great and wonderful organization Morris Dees created. They don't talk about Morris Dees very much anymore because Morris Dees had to resign in disgrace in 2019 because of sexual harassment allegations that were coming out against him. That said, the organization that he founded did some good work. They broke up some hate groups, the Klan and some other hate group type organizations through financial mechanisms, but they've long since lost their way. And they lost their way because there wasn't enough hate for them to continue to fill their bank accounts with the amount of donations that they felt like they needed. And so long before Donald Trump was ever a thing on the political spectrum, I was in Montgomery in the early 2000s. I lived in Montgomery where the SPLC has their headquarters. And I watched in real time how they operated. And this hate group list that they operate is essentially a financial shakedown. Because what they ignore any sort of questionable activity on the part of the political left. All right, so you have to understand that. They just ignore the leftists. So if you are on the left of the political spectrum, you don't have to worry about Morris Dees. And a lot of those organizations are going to give money to his cause anyway because they like what he does to organizations on the political right. So you separate that out for a minute. So if you're on the left, if you're like the Rainbow Push organization or whatever you might be, you're going to be ignored. If you are Antifa, let's put it in modern parlance. If you are a part of the Antifa group, they're not bothering with you at the SPLC because you promote and create causes and further causes that they agree with. But if you are in the middle or on the political right and you have any sort of political opinion that is disagreed with by the Southern Poverty Law Center, you might find yourself in their crosshairs. And when you do, you have a choice to make. You can either back off of your position, sit down, be quiet, and donate to the SPLC and stay off their hate group list, or if you stand up for yourself, they put you on the hate group list. Now, the hate group list has been further, its power resides in the willingness on the part of the political left and a lot of the mainstream media machinery to push forward this narrative that if you're on the list, you are a societal pariah, that you are to be expunged from society. It doesn't matter whether the accusations are true. It doesn't matter whether or not you got there. That is what it is. And I've long argued against this organization because of these things. They don't treat – if they treated all this fairly, it would be one thing. But they don't. That's not their goal. Much like the Rainbow Push Coalition, that's not their goal either. But now they have been found to be doing things that they ought not do and defrauding their donors in a way that they ought not to defraud. And the amazing reaction on the part of the political left to defend this sort of activity is amusing if it weren't so dangerous. Democrats and leftists are sadly willing to defend anything that might further their agenda, regardless of it, if it's socially repugnant, if it's illegal. They don't care. They do not care about the law if it furthers their purpose. The ends justify the means to them. And we'll talk about that, and I can bring you the receipts to it. So we'll discuss that today. We'll discuss the end of the regular session on the part of the Tennessee General Assembly. I was asked. I was on a program in Chattanooga. I do a weekly hit with a young man by the name of Yaffe down in Chattanooga at WGOW, and he asked me what grade I would give to the Tennessee General Assembly. And I have to give them an incomplete. If I did not give them an incomplete based on some of the immigration proposals alone, I think perhaps I would give them a B-. But I'm giving them an incomplete because I think it remains to be seen what – and look, I'm trying to judge this fairly, and a lot of these people I like. Jack Johnson, Senate Majority Leader, will be – and the expected next Lieutenant Governor will be on the show with us Monday at 4 o'clock. We've got Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton scheduled to come on next week, and I will give a fair opportunity for those individuals to debate and discuss some of the legislation they passed. 1971 is no good to me. I understand why they support the expansion of a program in the second year of the program until we know that the program's working. And while I was supportive of the idea of school choice on the front end, I don't know that we have all the data necessary to say that we should expand it now. The expansion came in the form of 15,000 additional scholarships for the Education Freedom Scholarship. And then you have the Education Scholarship Program, the ESA, that there was some maneuvering with that regarding testing. And here's what I need to know about that. And I know we're doing a lot in the first segment here, but there's a lot to cover. I need to know whether parents believe that their kids are being tested too much. And I need to know why removing testing requirements for those in the ESA program is going to benefit those students. I know what it does. It does prevent us from seeing whether or not there's academic progress, as I understand it. So I would like to know if there's been academic progress. I would like to know that the kids are actually in real – and this is me defending the taxpayers' money, right? This is not about – I don't have any kids. This is not about – so I need to lean on parents to find out if this was a solution in search of a problem or if it was an actual problem that kids were being tested too much and that it doesn't really matter that we're not going to see some of these testing results for those in the ESA program. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so those are some of the heavy lifts that we're going to get into today. There's other heavy items that we can talk about, and we're going to have a little bit of fun on this First Amendment Freestyle Friday on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is 25 after the hour. I'm late. Time for a break on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Spring Is the season to gear up, and there's no better time to upgrade your equipment and to save big at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply during Toro Days, now through May 17th. We want you to take advantage of the incredible savings on Toro walk mowers, designed for big-time power, long-lasting durability, and easy operation that works just as hard as you do. I've been a Toro man myself, and I absolutely love these mowers. Whether you're landscaping professionally or a serious homeowner, Toro delivers the performance that you can count on. And when it comes to quality equipment, replacement parts, and expert advice, there's only one place to go, and that's go where the pros go. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, with 7 convenient Middle Tennessee locations. Count them down now: Nashville, Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Brentwood, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. Help is always just a few minutes away. Stop in today or shop online at DickensSupply.com. That's DickensSupply.com. Do me a favor and tell them that Matt Murphy sent you in to Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Go where the pros go, to your one-stop Toro shop, Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I've got a quick question for you. When it comes to your health, would you rather know what's going on inside of your body or just hope that everything is fine? Because a lot of people who feel great have no idea something's happening beneath the surface until much later on. The idea of knowing versus not knowing stuck with me, and that's why I decided to check things out by getting a scan from our friends at Craft Body Scan. This is quick, it's non-invasive, and walking out, you feel like you have real answers. And right now, Craft Body Scan is offering our listeners their couples heart and lung scan valued at over $2,500 for just $99. This is an incredible deal. It can give you true peace of mind and an early heads up before symptoms ever show up. Take advantage of this by going to togetherwescan.com or call 615-436-1000 and use promo code MATT50. That's MATT50. This year, don't just hope everything's okay. Know everything's okay. That's togetherwescan.com or 615-436-1000 and promo code MATT50.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Rain is getting closer to Nashville. It's coming this way from the west. Some of the heaviest is going to be south of I-40. That's going to miss Nashville. But this rain, part of a system that puts Middle Tennessee at risk of severe weather, but we are on the very lowest level risk today. Monday is the day we got to be on the lookout for. Tell you more about that during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, emergency crews are busy after a tornado swept through Enid, about 80 miles north of Oklahoma City, destroying homes and injuring people yesterday. ABC News chief meteorologist Ginger Z says officials in the area have said everyone's been accounted for.
Husband and wife, Jason and Dana Campbell, were about 5 miles apart when the tornado tore through. She drove from their home to her job to take shelter, while he was with his father.
When it started forming and it coming to us, you know, that's when Dana's like, honey, I'm going to shelter. And I told her to go. You know, it's just like my dad. And like I said, he's 82, so it's hard for him to get around.
While several injuries have been reported, most are described as minor.
That tornado was on the ground for about 40 minutes. Right now in Georgia.
We got the two most dangerous, biggest, problematic fires anywhere in the United States within, really just a very small area that we're having to fight.
As Governor Brian Kemp, he says more than 40,000 acres have burned in southeast Georgia. They've already claimed the most homes and structures in the state's history, but fortunately, no lives. And here in Tennessee, state lawmakers have passed a bill that expands when deadly force may be used to protect property. The measure allows property owners to use lethal force in cases such as burglary, arson, theft, or damage to livestock. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, keep in mind we've got rain approaching Nashville from the west. Right now we're dry, but that rain is coming. Clarksville getting some heavy rain right now, so you'll probably run into it first there. Meanwhile, we've got a crash on the shoulder 40 westbound before Hermitage Avenue, and then Thompson Lane at Briley Parkway. And in Madison, a crash on the right shoulder 65 southbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for USS. That's United Structural Systems. USS is not just another repair company. They're your local foundation and waterproofing experts. They live here, they work here, they understand exactly how Tennessee's soil acts, how the weather responds, how homes behave in those weather conditions. They've been serving homeowners in Middle Tennessee and beyond since 1994. That's a long time doing what they do. More than 30,000 satisfied customers. 30,000 customers have been proven right time and again by going to USS. That experience means that they've seen just about every type of problem that you can imagine. At USS, they want to give you a free home inspection. Go to USSTN.com to find out more about that. They did this for my home. They came to my house. They inspected it. They gave me the thumbs up, and it gave me peace of mind knowing that I'd made a good choice in the purchase of my home and that I was safe and free of fear in terms of foundation issues or waterproofing issues in the near future or the long term. They're problem solvers, they're experienced, they're local. They're USS. Go to USSTN.com.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN from Timms Ford Lake. We are at Twin Creeks Marina, just down from Drafts and Watercrafts on the water here. Come out and see us. Say hello. We'd love to say hello to you. Matt, as a public service, you are obligated to tell all of the folks in Davidson County that if a drop of water in Timms Ford Lake gets on them, they will have warts on their noses for 10 years. Thank you. All right. Well, I've done my duty. Thank you. By the way, I've not done my duty in saying hello to the gang back at home base. I apologize. RJ's running the show in the absence of Jackson Williams, who's off gallivanting in Ohio. Hello, RJ.
Hey there. I can do my Jackson impression if that'll make things better.
Yeah, do it.
I'm the king of nincompoops.
Ken Weaver gathers headlines for a living, delivers them twice an hour, and when it breaks. What is up, Weaves? I felt like Jackson was right in the room with us,
I
huh?
knew. It made me look up. I had to look and see if that wasn't Jackson actually there.
Hey, do you think Jackson's okay about after those picks last night, Ken? What do you think?
You know, I was thinking about Brother Jackson. That's pretty good wide receiver they got, and pretty good edge rusher. But no Vols.
No Vols. Now, Jackson was on record as saying that he was going to commit Harry Carey if they picked Sonny Styles fourth. And I don't know why. I have no idea. But he said he was going to commit an act of aggression against himself if that happened. I think what he said, he's going to find a lake in Ohio and throw himself in.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. It was something about we shouldn't pick middle linebacker. I don't know. But all I know is that I was watching the draft last night in bed, convalescing after my illness, and I was happy that Sonny Styles did not go forth to the Tennessee Titans because I didn't want Jackson to be floating in a lake somewhere in Ohio.
No, we don't.
We don't want
that unless he's relaxing.
Well, that's true. If he's on his back and enjoying himself, and maybe with a nice ice cold beer nestled, between the arm and the belly or whatever,
I mean, I can picture Brother Jackson leaning over the bar, looking into a pretty girl's eyes and saying, I'm a pretty big deal back there in Nashville.
Yeah, I could see that. I bet you Jackson has tried to score a couple of drinks at the bar, talking about what a big deal that he's king of the poops. Y'all know they call me
poops.
They call me king of the poops back in my hometown. Brother Weaver, tell him. Anyway, we miss Jack. We love RJ, but we miss Jackson.
Well, would Jackson be drinking out of his chalice?
Yeah. Well, is it in there in the studio or in the control area?
He probably took it with him.
He might have.
He
you know what?
did.
You know what? That is on brand for Jackson. If he took his chalice with him up north, that is absolutely on brand.
Get me a beer and put it in the chalice.
Yeah. Give me one of those ice cold Budweisers and put it in this thing, would you? So, someone has noticed, and I appreciate y'all noticing. Someone has noticed that we've upped our game from Timms Ford Lake this year. We have a new camera system. Someone said y'all must have invested a little money in the broadcast this year. Oh yeah, we got a new camera system up and running.
Oh right, boy, we're hitting the big time now.
I'll tell you what. Now it's not going to make me look any prettier. I promise you that. And for those of you mentioning it, I don't know why someone said we're lagging. I don't know. That's probably just me because I am certainly not 100% but I'm much better than I was yesterday. So
I'm glad you're feeling better, Brother Murphy.
Yesterday was one of those days where I was testing out about 100.6, Ken. And anywhere above 100 on the FM dial, you've got to question whether or not you're hurting other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's enough. That's kind of fever will make you feel real bad.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it yesterday, so I apologize for that. But I know that y'all loved hearing Brother Brian Wilson. I love hearing
Brother Brian Wilson, boy, he was tearing it up.
He is the busiest retired man I've ever met in my life.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's got Watertown wrapped around his little finger.
Yep, I can't believe he's not the mayor.
Well, he ought to be. Well, let me tell you, if Brian Wilson wants some, Matt Murphy's going to give him some next time that election comes around. Because you talk about advocation for Brian Wilson as mayor of that town.
Yeah.
There's going to be we're going to be advocating.
Yeah.
And I make no bones about it. This show on this radio station is Wilson country, if you know what I'm saying.
That's
Y'all better be on the lookout for it. All right, what's up? How are you? I'm just talking to folks as they walking about. All right, we want to talk to people on telephones as well. I asked and answered. MC will be first up today on the air. MC, thank you for your call. I appreciate you being on radio with us. What's going on?
Gravitas. Gravitas. Gravitas.
A little
Hey,
gravitas.
Gravitas. I want to talk about my two favorite Latin words. S-I-N-E, sine, space D-I-E, day. Without the day, get out of town, legislature.
Get out of
You
here.
have intruded on my life enough, you nanny state, so-called conservative, whatever, fill in the blank.
I
But,
feel like
what's the
MC, I
alternative?
feel like you think I'm being a little nice giving these boys a B-. Might be a C+.
Well, it's just like public school grades. It's all subjective.
Yes, sir.
Anyway.
Yes, sir.
So, anyway, I spent time in Montgomery, Alabama shortly before you did, and I knew Morris D's security chief. I didn't know Morris had been deactivated because of footsie.
Oh,
or
that
whatever
was
he did.
as hush as it could have possibly been. But I am describing it exactly correctly. That there were accusations being made against him that were about to break out, and Morris decided that he would. Now he's what? I think Morris is 89.
Yeah, he's old. I know. My buddy, no joke. My buddy went to law school with me, and also was a security chief at Danley or Donnelly, or Maxwell, and he helped guard Morris during times when he needed to be guarded. But what they used to do back in the day is they used to call up and try to scare black widows. I don't mean like people that killed their husbands. I mean like African American widows into being afraid of the police, and usually they get a comment like, "We don't see police dogs in this neighborhood. We see Crips and Bloods with pit bulls." But they're a shakedown organization, and they, am I still with you? You didn't dump me, did you?
No, I'm here.
Anyway, if you may recall this, in front of their nice office building, there was a nice fountain, and it had a quote from Dr. King's speech, which I don't mind, but Dr. King quoted that from the Old Testament.
Yeah, when justice rolls down like waters.
Like a mighty stream.
Right.
But I would have preferred if they had given the Bible quote and then said, as spoken by Dr. King at the March on Washington. But they're not like that. I mean, they got their own agenda, and their time is really past, I think. And this sounds like maybe it's they'll say, oh, it's a hit piece. It won't be that difficult if a jury can pay attention to follow their money, follow the money, because they have to file.
Let me say this real quick.
I-990. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let me say this. So the defenders of the SPLC, they're ignoring the facts of the indictment, and it will take a jury to convict. And look, SPLC's got really, 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 really good leftist lawyers, and they will have really, really, really good representation. But the fact of the matter is they are accused of paying the very hate groups that they claim to want to stop to foster and continue the hatred that they claim to want to stop so that they could reap the benefits of the donations that they brought in by the millions in the aftermath of some of these things that they infiltrated. And it wasn't a matter – they claim, informants. Not a matter of informants. And, by the way, I could argue that they're a 501c3. They're not supposed to be infiltrating these hate groups with informants. They don't have the power to prosecute like a law enforcement agency. So what the hell are they talking about anyway? But
I like the term double agent, although, I don't want to – I'm not on the hate group side either, obviously. But I just want to say one inside Alabama thing. Were they taken over by the Sanders crime family of Selma, Alabama? You have a great day.
Oh, boy. You do know your stuff. Thank you, MC. I appreciate the call.
Do. Bye.
Hank Sanders and Rose, whatever her name, she changed her name a long time ago. Yes. Look, thank you, MC. Once again, do not be confused. No one is defending hate organizations. But the SPLC long ago decided that they were going to move away from their charter because there wasn't enough business there. They accomplished their task. And sadly, much like a government entity, some of these 501c3 organizations, once they accomplish their stated goal, a lot of the entities inside of those organizations are making way too much money to stop. And so it's as simple as this. They couldn't find enough hate to feed the donation lists. So they decided to expand it. And they expanded it to include hate organizations that weren't really hate organizations. And then they expanded it to include politically motivated organizations that simply had a different opinion than they did. And they would manipulate that and mischaracterize it as, quote, hatred. I mean, for example, if you don't believe that we should allow illegal immigrants to stay in this country for, the rest of time based on their illegal entry into this country, the Southern Poverty Law Center considers you a hate organization or a hate individual, right? They consider it a hatred that you believe in following the laws that were duly passed by sitting representatives in the United States Congress, right? I mean, that's as simple as that. So they couldn't find enough hate around. They had assisted, and give them credit, they partially assisted in eliminating, exposing those groups, exposing those individuals that were truly hate groups. They hated people based on the color of their skin, or hate people based on their ethnicity, or hate people based on conditions of their birth. And when they ran out of those people, they decided just to keep going. And when they ran out of the people that they could just keep going with, they decided to start, well, I guess we're going to have to get in there and do it ourselves. We're going to have to gin up this hatred ourselves. They were not there passively informing on the activities of the group. They were paying the leaders of the group to do these things. And, oh, by the way, anybody that says, well, they were just informants, just like law enforcement does. They're not law enforcement. What are you talking about? Law enforcement has to abide by strict guidelines when it comes to what they do and what they don't do when they're going undercover. Because what you can't do is entrap individuals into doing something that they would not otherwise do based on you being inside of that organization. Well, do we expect the Southern Poverty Law Center knows where those lines are? Maybe you can make an argument. They'll get to make that argument in court. I'm a little bit surprised that so many liberals are arguing in favor of these tactics regarding these hate organizations. Let's talk to, before we get a break, what time is it? It's 49 after. I think we've got time to talk to Stephen right now. Stephen is up next on the Matt Murphy Show as we broadcast live from Twin Creeks Marina. Hey, Stephen, what's up?
Holding it down, brother. How's it going, Matt?
Man, I'm better than I deserve.
I feel you, bro. I see you out there on the lake, man. I hope you get you some big ones.
We're going to do our best. Hey, listen, anybody want turtle stew? Because we got some turtles out here today. There are turtles galore.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
waiting on. They have a real quick, Stephen. Not to screw your call up here. They've got a little. They got a little gumball machine. Used to be a gumball machine, and they have it filled with fish food, right? And they have it sitting out on the dock. And for like a quarter, I guess it is, you can put a quarter in there. You can get you a little cup of fish food, and you can feed the fish. If you don't believe that these fish and these turtles, they know exactly where that gumball machine is, and they gather in the water right beneath it, waiting. And if somebody walks over to that gumball machine, they just swarm to it because they feel like they know what's coming. They're like, you know what? It's like a bunch of liberals swarming to a pot of money.
Yeah. Yep. Where are you at, on Woods Reservoir?
We are at Twin Creeks.
Okay, Twin Creeks. Okay, all right.
Yeah, yes.
All right, well, yeah, just real quick, man, I just want to get the forecast, get your thoughts on the midterms, man. What are you seeing? What are you thinking? What have you gathered? What have you heard? Give me your master expertise on what do you think it's going to be like.
All right, you want to hang on to comment or you want to listen online?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. It is history dictates to us that we're going to lose the midterms. That's just the way it is. The party in power in the White House traditionally, because people have a predisposition to be dissatisfied and they want to blame somebody about their dissatisfaction. And the easiest entity to blame would be their elected representatives. So if people are relatively dissatisfied with their condition, of their circumstances, wherever they live, they're going to cast blame toward the government. So Donald Trump's in power. The Republicans are in power. History indicates that you're not going to hold on to the House, especially considering how lean the House is. So you've got to overcome that first and foremost. Number two, the biggest impediment right now is the situation in Iran. Whatever you think about the situation in Iran, it is causing problems back at home because we're not focused on those issues, those meat and potato economic issues that can get people to the polls and vote in favor of MAGA or vote in favor of Trump or vote in favor of the Republican Party. So you've got those two things working against you off the jump. You've got to get Iran off the table. If you don't get Iran off the table, it's going to be a bloodbath. Number three, you've got to get into court and challenge Virginia and challenge some of these otherwise poorly done opportunities to redistrict to prevent those from going into play in November. If you don't, if Virginia hands the Democrats 5 seats in Congress, 5 seats that they should not have, then I feel like the House is over. And if the House is over, then the second term of Donald Trump's over. That's my short answer, Stephen.
Yep. Okay, thank you so much, man. What about, real quick, give me your thoughts on the SAVES Act. Do you think it's going to pass?
All right, Stephen. All right, tell you what, Stephen, thank you for the call. Let's let Stephen go because this one is easy because I got to get out of here too. Stephen, this one's easy. Thank you for being with us. No, it's not because of mealy-mouthed, weak leadership in the Senate because of John Thune, because of Tom Tillis, because of Lisa Murkowski, because of Susan Collins, and because of Mitch McConnell, the SAVE Act will not pass. They had the opportunity, they had the chance to do it, and they're blowing it. And they're blowing it for the stupidest – I'm trying to be nice here. They're blowing it because they say that they respect the traditions of the Senate. How about respect the American people and the sanctity of our vote? I tell you what, I've got more to say about this. I go on a toot. I go on an hour-long rant on this. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. It's obscene that they did not suspend the rules of the filibuster in order to get the SAVE Act taken care of. Because I promise you this, the Democrats get control of the Senate, and I guarantee you they're going to suspend the filibuster because they don't care about the sanctity of the rules. They don't care about the history of this country. They don't care about, any formalities that have previously existed in the Senate, and everybody knows it. 615-737-9986. It's the Murphy Show live from Timms Ford Lake on Super Talk.
For many of you, and I know because I talk to you, and I'm one of you, you do everything right. You feel like you're exercising enough. You feel like you're eating right, but you get to a certain age where you just can't get it off in certain areas. You just can't get it done. Allow the modern technology, the red light therapy that is Contours, to give you that boost, that assist. You do those things that you're doing in your daily life. Let Contours do their thing with their ultra slim body contouring, and together you're going to achieve that level of happiness, and that happiness, it cannot be replicated. Once you get to that body, that look that you're looking for, once you lose those inches that you wanted to lose in your love handles, in your chest area, wherever it might be, I'm telling you, folks, look in the mirror and you'll love what you see when you get to Contours LLC. They also do facials that are revitalizing. The red light therapy will tighten your skin and restore your natural glow for both men and women. Red light therapy works, and I'm a testimony to it because I'm going through a session right now, just left earlier today, as a matter of fact. So for $99, you can get that Belly Buster special. Call today at Contours LLC, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, ContoursLLC.com. What do you have to lose but inches? Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Shane Ring and Cover Nash. They can help find the insurance program that's right for you. And all it takes is a telephone call to our friends over there. Shane does it all from right in Brentwood, and you can go by and see him in his Brentwood office, or you can do this over the phone, right? So what separates Cover Nash from everyone else? Well, first and foremost, they shop all of the insurance programs and plans that are available to you, for you, in the state of Tennessee. So they can find the right one for you, specific to your circumstance and situation. Whether you have a lot of family, whether you're just by yourself, whatever it might be, they're going to identify that. And, oh, by the way, before you say, well, Murphy, this is April. There's nothing you can do in April, right? It's not open enrollment. Shane wants to help you understand. This is language used by companies that don't want you to be able to have the flexibility that you truly have. He can work out a program for you. You don't have to play by Washington's rules. Shane and Cover Nash can help cut your costs, in some cases, in half. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, call 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at coverdash.com.
Rain still approaching Nashville from the west, but that's all it is rain. We're going to have to be concerned about severe storms with rain on Monday. We'll tell you about that and the wildfires in Georgia and the latest on a bill passed in the Tennessee legislature that has to do with deadly force, coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
WTN. There's Ken Weaver. We're going to go to him in moments in the Super Talk 99.7 WTN newsroom, get an update on those headlines, and we'll talk about a little of that deadly force legislation. I might ask Jay St. Clair what his thoughts are on it. You can get your questions in for Fry Jay. Jay's coming along via phone coming up in just moments. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. If you want to text it in, you can do that. If you want to call it in, you can do that as well. We'd love to hear from you as we broadcast from Timms Ford Lake at Twin Creeks Marina, right on the water. It's absolutely gorgeous. Come join us and the Turtles as we continue the broadcast. It's 4 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now, rain still approaching Nashville from the west, but that's all it is rain. We're not talking about storms, even though much of Middle Tennessee is under the very lowest risk of severe weather this afternoon. It's Monday we need to be concerned about. And right now, the National Weather Service says it's too soon to give us a timeline for when severe weather could break out in Middle Tennessee on Monday, but we'll be watching it for you. Meanwhile, from Oklahoma to Iowa, 17 tornadoes reported overnight, the largest and most destructive one about 80 miles north of Oklahoma City. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
The roar was unmistakable.
Oh, my God!
Wow.
It was weird. You could feel the tornado. You could feel it in your chest.
Terry Washburn lives in Enid and watched as the twister moved in, leveling buildings in its path. The mayor reports 11 people injured, none seriously. For Terry Washburn,
you know, when they say it sounds kind of like a freight train, that's true. I mean, I'm never going to forget this.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Now, that tornado on the ground for about 40 minutes. Right now in Georgia.
Being the number 1 and 2 ranked fires in the country, also the most homes lost ever in a Georgia fire, really shows you just how bad these two fires are.
As Governor Brian Kemp, who says more than 40,000 acres have burned in southeast Georgia, they've already claimed the most homes and structures in the state's history. And here in Tennessee, a bill allowing deadly force to protect property has cleared the legislature. If signed by the governor, it takes effect July 1st. It allows deadly force in certain crimes, but bans it if the person is facing away from the property owner. Can't shoot him in the back. Critics argue the law could lead to deadly consequences over property crimes. An Operation Epic Fury. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The president has decided to dispatch Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner back to Islamabad. The Iranians want to talk. They want to talk in person.
But Vice President J.D. Vance is on standby for now. Meanwhile, Karen Travers has what Secretary of War Pete Hegseth told a press briefing this morning about the ongoing U.S. blockade of Iranian ports.
Hegseth said that there would be a second aircraft carrier that would be joining the blockade in the next few days. Now, of course, this comes as the president has extended that ceasefire, and it is open-ended. But General Dan Kane, the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said today that the U.S. military stands ready to continue, go back and do those strikes against Iran if the president issues the order.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Lebanon, we got stop and go traffic 40 eastbound between 840 and exit 238. That's going to be between exit 235 and exit 238. Got police activity reported around South Hartman there. Berry Hill crash reported 65 northbound at I-440. Still showing one at Thompson Lane and Briley Parkway. And in Clarksville, 24 westbound past M.L. King Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We're happy to have you with us on this Friday. Once again, my apologies for not answering the bell yesterday. Couldn't do it. Thank you to Brian Wilson for filling in for me. Feeling better today, and thank all of you for asking. Fever down, fever gone, still scratchy throat, a little under the weather, but this too shall pass. We'll make it through. I'm telling you, I feel better just being at Timms Ford Lake. I feel better just being out here at Twin Creeks Marina. I feel better watching all the turtles. Man, there are turtles galore out here. There are dozens of turtles with the little homes on their backs, and all they want, they're hungry. They seem to be very, very anxious to get fed. And if you come out here, bring your quarters, and you can feed them as we broadcast from the marina on the lake, and we would love to see you. 615-737-9986 is our telephone number if you'd like to be a part of the show. 615-737-9986. Always a good time to have you call us up. And today it is time for Friday. So without further ado, RJ, I forgot to mention this to you during the break. I hope you've got your finger ready because I know our man is ready. It is time at 8 minutes after 4 o'clock for Friday.
Good morning, Americans. It's Friday.
I love it. It is really an unofficial, it has become, not only does everybody love Jason, everybody loves Jay. I don't know of a person that doesn't love Jay St. Clair. Not only is it your love of St. Clair that is present and accounted for when we invite him on these shows, but it's also a symbol to many of you that the weekend has officially gotten here, and I love that too. Yeah. I would like to start these proceedings, as I normally do, by asking Jay St. Clair a question. Jay, can I ask you a question?
Please do, man.
Jay, how you doing?
You know, Matt, life is good. If I were any better, I would be my Secretary of Homeland Security. She's got the best life of any creature I know. I now have to take her on a drive 2 times a day, morning and afternoon.
Nice.
Both 30 minutes. She loves it. The faster, the better. And the vet just recently figured out that she's got allergies.
Oh.
And so they gave her a shot. And, man, I mean, it's changed her life. It's like she's a 2-year-old puppy again.
Is it, Munson gets those. I think, I bet, I almost guarantee, because he was taking a Aprafil or Apraquil. I don't really know. I don't handle that side of things, but he transitioned to these shots, and I bet I'd be willing to bet it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's what she got. It's a once a month shot.
Yeah,
I didn't ask him the name. I don't want it.
But it did the same thing to Munson's 11, and man, I mean, he gets spunky.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to watch. It's really good.
I mean, it's so good now that I think about it. Maybe we should ask them to give us one, Jay.
Yeah, no. I might have to go buy a dozen more tennis balls, man.
Well, that's great. I absolutely love it. Love it. I think when we moved to Mount Pleasant, I was excited to see how Munson, age 11, and Mrs. Beasley, age 6, would react to the almost 2 acres that we have now, Jay.
Oh, yeah, they're free-range dogs. Man.
Well, let me tell you, the yard's winning. They sleep well.
Well, I bet you there's no feral cats around anymore.
No, they got the cats licked. They're still the squirrels are being a little more aggressive than I anticipated. The squirrels are defending their territory.
Yeah, they're stubborn.
Well,
they'll get right there on the fence. Like I got this invisible fence, and they know where it is, and they'll get right on the other side of it and taunt her.
That's right.
And flick her little tail at her and check her.
Yeah. I see it every day.
Yeah.
I mean, they get up there on a limb, just high enough, and they're taunty is what they are.
That's exactly right. They're like Alabama fans.
Hey, Alabama fans are having a tough time of it. They don't like spending all that money on a coach that they don't think has proved himself. So I'm going to leave them alone for the time being.
Yeah, well, they're doing okay. 87 national championships. You can miss a couple.
And if you don't believe they have 87, just ask them. They'll tell you. They'll count them up for you. If y'all would like to be a part of Friday, all you've got to do is get your questions in on the text feature. Talk text is up and running at 615-737-9986. You can also hit us up on the phone lines at 615-737-9986 and get your question in for Jay. Jay, it's a little bit – I mean, I'm just curious your thoughts. There was – and I've not done a deep dive onto it, but the legislature passed something yesterday, and I'm all about defending your property. I'm all about defending, the castle doctrine means something. But I don't know if you saw it. They passed this piece that says that you can defend your property with deadly force if someone is burglarizing your property. And it's a weird little carve-out where you don't necessarily have to be in fear for your life. And
or even be there, right?
Right.
Because burglary, to me, I didn't look at the legal definition in Tennessee law, but that's different from robbery. To burglarize a home, when I hear burglarize, somebody went into an empty house and stole some stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see how this law is written. But to me, I wouldn't call burglary if I'm in the house and they're coming in to steal something. That's robbery.
Right. Well, and I'm just, it's one of those that it prevents people. It prevents people who have been charged with crimes involved in a firearm that resulted in death or bodily injury from receiving bail. Oh no, that's a different one. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one there. But it's going to be challenged certainly, and it's one of those deals where I think a lot of us are going to get behind it initially, and I just don't want the state of Tennessee disappointed if this is eventually found to be against other aspects of Tennessee law or against the basic rights of that individual with regard to and once again, I'm not trying to be pro-burglary here, but obviously I think the standard that you have to be in fear for your life is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think I would shoot. Just me personally. If somebody said, "You either let me take this truck or I'm going to kill you," I'd give them the keys.
Yeah. Well, and 4345 says the way I understand it now is if I am killing your dog and you come out and see me, you can legally kill me to protect your dog. And you couldn't before. Well, okay. Well, now you're talking my language because, that's a little different. So,
I'd have to see exactly how it's written.
Yeah, and I admit I haven't either. 615-737-9986. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just go. You got a lot, and just RJ, just a reminder. You probably already know this. I'm not trying to talk down to you. You got to lock Jay in there, otherwise we'll lose him. But lock Jay in if you can, and get to Don on the line in Murfreesboro, who has a question for Jay on Friday. Hey, Don, what's up, buddy?
Thanks for taking my call. I got a question. Me and the wife is buying a small business, and I was wondering the proper way or formula to value it.
The proper formula to evaluate the business?
Yes. Or how do you value a company?
Yeah, generally what they'll do is look at, what the income is. And I think the formula, I think this is right. I looked at it when I was like 3 to 5 years. So let's say the business makes $100,000 a year. Let's probably worth $300,000 to $500,000. But depending.
It makes $800,000 and it profits $200,000 a year.
Yeah, so $200,000. So if I'm right about a 3 to 5 time multiplier. So it's, between 600,000 and $1 million.
Yeah, we offered 500, and she wants $1 million.
Yeah, okay. Well, so I'm remembering right. So she's pricing it. She's
on the high end, and he's on the low end, right?
That's right. And so now, Don, you know what it's time for you to do?
Used car salesman mode.
The art of the deal. Here's what you need to do. You need to throw a blockade on her and tell her that she's not getting any oil out of there until she sells to you at a good price.
JS.
Put the,
meet in the middle.
put the
meet in the
art
middle
of
is
the
the best
deal
thing.
on her.
Yeah,
so
that's what I need.
she's within reason, right? Because it's like 3 to 5 years. It's worth more than 200 grand because you're going to get that back the first year. That's the range, 600. So y'all are at the right place. And if I had to guess, you could end up buying that business for 750 grand.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring, man. Thanks for my call, and
yes, sir.
Have a good day. Hope
Hey, Don,
hope you do well, Matt.
Hey, Don, I got to ask you. You still there?
Yeah.
Don's still on the line.
Oh, what kind of my dad was born in Murfreesboro. I spent a lot of time in Murfreesboro before it was a part of Nashville.
Right.
What kind of business is it?
What's that again?
What kind of business?
What kind of business?
I can't. I really don't want to say on the air.
Okay, Don, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wasn't trying to pry. I was just going to come give you some business, Don.
Oh well, you won't be a client for what we sell.
Oh.
So, yeah, I want to keep it on the down low.
Well, Don, when you're ready to advertise that business, let me tell you something. I know a good place for you to get the word out when you're ready. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're always hustling, man.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Get on over here to the Murphy Show, and we'll get you some. Hey, Don, go ahead and buy that thing for $1 million, and then invest on some advertisements on the Matt Murphy Show, and I'll make you that $1 million back in 3 years.
Well,
Hey,
to be honest with you, I already do. Yeah, I already do advertise on WTN. Well, my company is one of y'all sponsors.
Oh, well, then you already know, brother. Oh, yeah, we're good. All right, Don, thank you, man. And in all seriousness, if it works out, let us know about it.
Okay. Well, we'll keep your family rolling if that's in here.
You keep what? We keep your family rolling. Okay. All right, Don. And then Don hung up. He just left us hanging and hung up. What do we think that means? You keep your family rolling. I don't know. But Jay's not in the bit. Jay's not in it. Well,
Ain't that a slogan for a tire company?
I think maybe so. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. All right. 20 after the hour. Jay's with us. You can be here too. 615-737-9986. We got Guy on the line. We'll get to you. Several questions coming in on the Super Text line. It is Friday on the Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Up too, because if I describe anything that might relate to your fella, then you might want to nudge him and encourage him to get over to the Tennessee Men's Clinic. It's kind of a direct call to men. If you're feeling wiped out when you wake up, if your waistline is creeping up, bedroom confidence may be slipping. Friends, you feel it, you notice it, she notices it, and now it's time to do something about it. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to accept that this is just the way things are. Tennessee Men's Clinic treated more men in Tennessee for performance-related issues than anyone else, and they have 7 separate clinics across this great state, and many right here in Middle Tennessee, like Cool Springs, like Clarksville, and like Nashville, Tennessee. Friends, this works. The treatment works, but it is unique to you and your situation. Patients are treated like people. You come in, and for less than $100, they take you back. They examine you from tip to stern. They get a little blood work from you. They see what's going on with your testosterone levels or whatever it might be. Friends, I want you to call and book that appointment today. You do not have to live like this, and you can get back in the game, man, with the Tennessee Men's Clinic, 615-208-9090, 615-208-9090, or online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Well, we have just learned just how strong that tornado was there north of Oklahoma City last night, and in Georgia, where more homes have been damaged or destroyed by wildfires in the history of the state. Things could be about to get worse. These stories and more coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 24, almost 25 minutes past 4 o'clock in the midst of Friday, this Friday afternoon. Thank you for being with us. We are at Timms Ford Lake, Twin Creeks Marina. We invite you to stop by and say hello to us. A lot of folks coming in, enjoying a meal at Drafts and Watercrafts, and why wouldn't you? Great food at Drafts and Watercrafts, and a great atmosphere at Twin Creeks Marina. And if you've never been, you just got to come, and we absolutely love it down here. The season just really kind of cranking up, opening up. The lake's still a little down, don't you think? We're still getting the lake levels up. Maybe that has to do with the drought. I don't know. But I've noticed the lake level's down. But here's the great thing. At Twin Creeks Marina, it's never too low because the boats are always right here in the docks, and you can always access the water, which is a nice thing. Also a nice thing to have Jay St. Clair in the midst of Friday. The amount of people guessing on that business in Murfreesboro is fascinating.
I mean, what it is, you mean?
On what it is, that's right. Yeah. A lot of guesses going on. And automobiles. Somebody said a mobility-based company like a hover round or maybe even wheelchairs. I don't want to go any further because I don't want this guy's deal. I'm not leave this guy alone. Let him do his own thing. So we'll try to do that.
I guess that's right, but it is a little odd. He had a chance to get some free advertising and didn't want it. So
he might be, and there might be another fox in the hen house maybe.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a little bit, little weird.
Yeah,
but
maybe he didn't want the buyer to know who he was. I mean, the seller to know who he was. So
right.
That may be it.
That might be the case. But let me tell you, once you get that deal on the dotted line, give us a call and we'll make some. Come on, man.
I love your hustle.
I got a good product and I'm willing to sell it.
Yeah. Talk show hosts got to eat too, man.
That's exactly right, Jay. We're like, hey, you lawyers can't get all the food. We got to eat over here too. Let's go to lots of folks on the line for Jay. Let's find out what Guy has going on. Guy is next up with Jay. Oh, hold on. Guy, before you talk, Jay, our good mutual friend Richard is suggesting that somebody's opening up a Bama Fever store in Murfreesboro.
Well, in that case, I wouldn't have said anything about it either.
That's funny. Richard, you're funny. What's up, Guy? How are you, buddy?
Boy, that was one of the biggest teases I've ever had in my life. Can y'all hear me okay?
We got you, Guy. You're good.
Nice. Jay, love you, man. Thank you for what you do for us. We're going to get to this quickly if I can. I've got a house that my dad owns. My dad has dementia. I'm power of attorney. My brother is going to buy the house when my dad passes. How does that work when it's going to be split 3 ways between my brother, myself, and my other brother?
Yeah, so there's 3 siblings, right? And does your father have a will?
So my mother passed in 23. There is a will. My middle brother passed in 2020. He had 3 boys. We established a trust in the will. And so a portion of the house will go to them, a portion will go to me, and then a portion will go to my oldest brother, David. Right. But he is the one that's wanting to buy the house. So I'm just curious. Like, we have a family lawyer that we work with that established the will. She's great. Liz Tipping, she's phenomenal. But I'm just kind of curious, now, because he's kind of asked questions about it, and I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, Guy, if I'm understanding you correctly, that, so that it's set up so that the children of your deceased sibling will still get a third total.
Correct.
Of the estate. And so let's say the house is worth $300,000. For easy math. And so that would mean each child would get $100,000 of that. If the house is valued at $300,000, first thing you have to do is get somebody to value the house. So each of you own a third of that. Each of you own 100. If he wants to buy the other 2 out, he just pays each of y'all $100,000.
Okay. And he would just
Sure.
get a home loan for that.
Yeah, that's right. And then that way he owns the house outright.
Perfect.
And yeah, and then if he has to get a loan for that or whatever, is the house paid for?
It is not. So there is a mortgage on the house currently.
Well, yeah. So then you'd have to figure that in. You'd have to see what the retail value of the house is less the mortgage. Let's say the house is, for example, is $300,000, but it's got a $150,000 mortgage. So y'all are together inheriting $150,000. Each of you is getting
right.
50. So then, if he wants to buy y'all out, then he pays each of you $50,000.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's simple then.
Yeah, that's not very complicated.
Awesome, Jay. You're
Excellent.
wonderful, man. I appreciate you.
God,
Thank
love
you so
it.
much, guys.
That's my favorite kind of call to Fry Jay. Asked and answered, and great advice.
He
Absolutely
came
love it.
ready, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike and Dave and Scott and Jared, we'll get your turn in here with Fry Jay on Super Talk 99.7 WT, and it's time for news on Super Talk.
4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. I can tell you right now, we got rain still moving this way from the west, but that's all it is rain, even though we're under a very slight risk of severe weather here in Middle Tennessee. Now, the real deal looks to be Monday, and the National Weather Service still isn't giving us specific details such as timing and severity. But Monday is when we need to be weather aware, and we'll let you know more when we know more. Right now, the National Weather Service says the tornado that struck north of Oklahoma City yesterday was an EF4 with winds up to 175 miles per hour. Here's Ginger Z.
A devastating tornado levels parts of Oklahoma. A particularly dangerous situation tornado warning was issued, telling people to take cover as the massive stovepipe tornado tore through the city of Enid. The twister destroying several homes, people reportedly trapped.
Look at this.
Vance Air Force Base taking a direct hit. Officials there checking structures for damage.
Yeah, that tornado was 5 football fields wide. It was on the ground for 9 miles and damaged or destroyed at least 40 homes and businesses. At least that's how many they've counted so far. Right now in Georgia, where more homes and businesses have been damaged or destroyed by wildfires in the history of the state, Governor Brian Kemp says it could get worse.
We've got a chance of rain down here tomorrow, which is good, but it's not a great chance. But also, if it is a thunderstorm, we could actually have more fires that we got to deal with because of lightning strikes than the rain helps us.
They are the largest fires in the nation right now. And here in Tennessee, lawmakers have passed a bill that expands when deadly force may be used to protect property. The measure allows lethal force to stop crimes such as burglary, arson, theft, robbery, or damage to livestock. And lawmakers amended the bill that removed a language that would have barred deadly force if the suspect was facing away. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Berry Hill got a crash on the right shoulder. That's going to be 65 northbound under 440. In Franklin, a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane, 65 southbound at Cool Springs. In Antioch, a crash. Antioch Pike, both north and southbound lanes are impacted there just north of Harding Place. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about insurance. If you have kids, this message is for you. Life insurance isn't really about you. It's about them. It's about your family members. It's making sure that your home is taken care of, that college is still possible, that while their life is going to change sadly, if you are no longer with us, their life changes in that way, but their life doesn't have to change overnight in so many other ways. That's what life insurance promises you. And at King & Associates Insurance, they make it simple. There's no pressure. There's no confusion. Just clear options that fit your family, that fit your lifestyle, and make sure that they protect you and everything that you have worked so hard for in your life to hand to your children. You don't want to lose that because of a situation involving life insurance not being what it should be. Find out if yours is up to snuff by calling Emory or one of the team at King & Associates Insurance today. 615-329-8121, 329-8121, or visit online at kinginsurance.com. Obviously, I talked to you a lot about automobile insurance, homeowners insurance. I wanted to spend a moment reminding you that life insurance matters, not for you, but for your family and for the long-term security of your family. Go to tkinginsurance.com or call 329-8121 today.
It is difficult to find someone that you can trust in the HVAC industry, which is why I repeatedly tell you about Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. I trust this man as the day is long. He's got a great staff of people that work underneath him at Efficient Heating and Cooling. He does not strive to be the biggest HVAC company in the state of Tennessee. He simply wants to be the best, the most regarded, and I trust him, a small company with big service and big results in mind. He helped me when I moved into my new home. I put in a new HVAC unit. Thank you to Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. And now he wants you to give him a call if you've not done your maintenance yet on your HVAC, on your air conditioner. Time to do it. Plenty of time to get it done, and you get that maintenance guarantee when you get it done, and you never pay over $125 no matter how many units you have within their service area. There are elite pro partners with the Ream. When it comes time, they'll find the right unit for you and your family. All you need to do is make the call that so many others have made, 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or online at efficienthvac.net.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, about 38 minutes after 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. Welcome in the midst of Friday. For all of you guessing out there, you're guessing the same thing, and I hear your guesses, and I feel your guesses, and I just don't want to go any further into it because I want to protect this fella and his business opportunity, but I don't understand. All of you are guessing Tire. Let me just go and say, all of you are guessing Tire World, but if it's Tire World, why wouldn't St. Clair be a customer? Anyway, I don't want to say any more about it, but I'm just – everybody's saying Tire World, because Tire World's slogan, Jay, for you might not know, that Tire World's, their slogan is, we keep your family rolling.
Oh, okay.
And so this fella said, well, I keep your family rolling. But then he also said you wouldn't be a customer.
Yeah, he didn't know me.
That's what I
know. I buy a lot of tires.
Let me tell you something. You would be a P1, as we say in the radio business. You would be a number one priority customer.
Last time you were in my garage, you were saying, Jay, is that tires over there? I said, yeah. Well, is that tires over there? Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot. Well, those are tires. You got a lot of tires. Anyway, just and once again, I'm not trying to get in the fellow's business, but just interesting.
No, that was fun.
It's fun. It's fun. Guessing's fun. Let me see. Let's talk with, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, RJ's line 1, Mike been on the line longest? Let's go.
It looks like, it's Mike.
Okay, let's go to Mike. Mike, you are up. What's going on, buddy?
Thank you. I'd like to ask Jay a question. Is he there?
Yes, we're here,
Mike. Fire away.
All right, it's a tax question. Way back when I bought an IRA 40 years ago, and I invested in it, and I paid into it, and we were told that if you invest in an IRA, that you could defer income and not be taxed. You'll be taxed in the future at current rates, and that was 40 years ago. Then, now when you turn a certain age, the government is now saying, you know what, you're going to have to withdraw that money against your will so we can take our cut at current income tax rates.
That's right.
So, Jay, do I have any legal right to sue the government when they are forcing me to withdraw money that I made decisions on for 40 years that made a lot of money? Now they want their cut?
All
and
right.
they told me originally...
Matt, what is your producer's name?
Producer RJ. RJ.
Hey, RJ, are you listening?
Yes, I am.
RJ, he is asking if he can sue the government because of the required minimum distribution that applies to IRAs. Do you know what it takes to sue somebody, RJ?
Takes a lot of money, and the government has deep pockets.
It takes $40 and a crayon. That's all you need to sue anybody for anything. So, yes, sir, you have a right to sue the government, but you're going to lose. And here's why. Here's the way it works. The government is in charge of the tax rules, and they can change them. I mean, they just have that right. And they had a law that said that if you contribute to an IRA, you can make pre-tax contributions to the IRA. And then it grows without any tax being applied. But once you start withdrawing, you have to start paying taxes. And you have to pay it at the current rates. And then somewhere along the way, I can't remember when, they started this required minimum distribution thing. It says once you reach age 73, then you must start withdrawing based on life expectancy at that point. And you got to pay taxes at the current rate. They have every right in the world to do that, sir. I'm sorry. I wish that the answer was different. But there is 0% chance of winning that case.
Zero.
Mike, I got a lot of people to get to. I love you, buddy, but asked and answered, and I just.
And by the way, Matt, we're going to get cream in November. The conservatives are going to get voted out in a huge cremation.
Well, and if that happens, they deserve it. Mike, let's talk again next week. Thank you, Mike, for the call. I don't mean to be brusque with you, Mike, but you get a lot of action in here, and the question was asked and the question was answered. So there you go. Let's talk to Dave next up in Columbia. Dave, thank you for your call. You're on with Jay St. Clair on Friday. What's up, Dave?
Yeah, hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Question. Friend of ours, I know that's a classic setup. It really is. Friend of ours got fired here this week for insubordination. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but she had a question she was asking my wife and I. Now, that company, the employer, has a employee handbook, code of conduct, right? So when you're employed, you sign, hey, I'm going to abide by these rules.
Right.
My question is, does that then form the basis of a contract? Because according to her, they did not follow their own procedure, like you're supposed to get
most handbooks have in them a disclaimer that says this is not a contract, these are our policies, and we have the unilateral right to interpret them as we deem fit. So unless this company has really bad lawyers, handbooks are not contracts. They're guidelines, and there's the arguments that you can make based off of them, but it doesn't stand as a legal contract.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. We're having dinner with her tomorrow night. I'll bring her a crayon and $40.
I said 40. It's actually 140. No,
The 140? Well, I'm not going the whole route.
Oh boy,
no,
just
no,
like
actually, no, I think it's 40. It's been a while since we've had that come up.
Hey, Dave, you like that? The lawyer tells you it's 40, then it's 140. By the time we get to dinner, it's going to be $500.
That's right. All right. Well, I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you.
Dave, thank you for the call. Thank you for the question. Scott, you are next up out of Hendersonville, and we appreciate you joining us on Friday. Scott, what is on your mind, friend?
Hey, Jay, question for you. My wife and I raised 4 grandkids full time. We have legal guardianship, went through an attorney, went to Chancery Court. Parents were knuckleheads, strung out on drugs, this and that. This was in 2016. I've been thinking lately about what happens if, God forbid, something happens to me and my wife, we die in a car crash, whatever. We've got lots of relatives that would step up to the plate, but the parents did not either have forfeited or surrendered their parental rights. So what type of document would we need to ensure that people that are responsible would be making the decisions in our demise?
Wow. I think the only way you could really do that with certainty is to have them give up their parental rights, because otherwise they're still the parents, the legal parents. The other people could come in and try to get custody or establish guardianships or so forth, but that's going to be messy.
So a living will wouldn't do the trick.
Well, I mean that sets up the money, and you could set up a trust. You could do that. Actually, as I think through this a little bit more clearly, you could set up a trust. And it wouldn't have to be a living trust. It would be after you all pass. And then you can have a trustee. And then the trustee would at least be in charge of that money. How old are the children now?
16, 14, 13, and 8.
I would first take a shot at getting them to surrender their parental rights. But I realize
never happened. Never happened. They're too selfish.
Yeah, then I would talk to a lawyer about setting up a trust that would kick in once y'all meet your maker. Are you still supporting them now, giving them money now?
Oh yeah. We're we're legal guardians for 10 years. So
yeah, I don't think you need a living trust, because as long as y'all are alive, y'all are in control of the money. But what you want to do is, when you pass, to have that money go into a trust, and then they would be the only beneficiaries of that trust. And then you establish a trusted person as the trustee, and then that they have the trustee will decide how that money is distributed to them. And you can leave it in place until they're age 25 or 30 or something like that. And then
it's less about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's less about money and more about decision making and responsibility.
Yeah.
So, in other words, a living will or a notarized piece of paper won't suffice, will it?
Yep. No, all that does is control money. You're exactly right. I mean, the other stuff, they're the parents, and as long as they are legally the parents, then they can do what parents do. And yeah, that's a tough situation. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Could the
no problem.
Hey, before you go, someone on the super, and I don't know, Jay, I could be way off base, but someone brought up on the super text line, could the kids themselves file for emancipation from the parents?
I don't know. I've never had that.
I've never thought of that either. Just somebody brought that up, and it was intriguing to me. I don't know.
I doubt that exists, but I don't know. I'll look.
Okay. Well, good call, Scott. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Let's see. Let's squeeze Jared in here before we take a short break, and then maybe we'll get to some of your questions on the super text line. Jared, you're up next with Jay St. Clair. What's going on, Jared?
Hey guys, how are y'all doing?
Doing good.
Quick question for Mr. St. Clair. My mother passed away back in September, and my stepfather passed away about a month after she did. Both had long lives. But now we're in a situation where we're trying to sell the house, and there's a contract on the house. It was sold at auction on March 28th. The mortgage company sent everything that we have that we're supposed to send them, all the certificates, the proof of the trust, the certification of the trust, and everything else. But these people have come back and said that they need letters of administration.
Right.
My lawyer, he told me that everything is good, but I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get that.
Well, I can tell you how you get it. Have y'all opened a probate estate?
No, as far as I know, everything is supposed to be good to go. It's all.
Well, how many beneficiaries are? Is there a will? Did your stepdad have a will?
There was a will. My brother and I are the two executors of the trust and the will, and the lawyer.
So there's also there's a trust and a will.
Yes, sir.
Is there both a trust and a will?
There is.
Well, what the insurance company is saying, and Matt Murphy is a real-world leading expert on this subject, man. You can tell your story about that if you want to. They're just saying, look, we're not going to fool with this until you open an estate in the probate court and then get an order from a probate judge. And that they're just protecting themselves. And that may not be unnecessary. So what you need to do is have your lawyer get in touch with this mortgage company. That's his job. That's what you're paying him to do. And if he's got it set up where you don't have to open an estate, then he ought to be able to explain that to him.
Okay. Well, we've got a trust, and we have an estate. We have a bank account for the estate and everything. It's just we're just trying to get the bank out.
Yeah, well, if y'all have opened an estate in probate court, then there should be a letter. They're just asking for who's the administrator of the estate. Your lawyer ought to be able to satisfy them on that.
Okay. Well, his paralegal just emailed them a letter yesterday afternoon, and we're waiting to hear back on that. I just wanted to hear yourself.
No, well, that's what you're paying that lawyer for. I'd have to know all the details of how it's set up. It's a little unusual to me that there's both an estate and a trust. Normally, you try to set up a trust so that you avoid having to set up an estate. But the lawyer knows what he's doing, and he ought to be able to satisfy the mortgage company.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. You know, Matt, I know a guy one time whose grandfather passed away without a will, and he had actually a reverse mortgage on his house.
He did.
And this person was trying to settle up with that company, and they said, well, we're not going to do anything with you until you open an estate.
Until you probate the will and open an estate.
Until you probate the will and open the estate. And my friend said, okay, well, see you later.
Yep. I told him the keys will be under the mat when they come to get the house. That's what I told him. I said I told him exactly what I was going to do.
Yeah, you weren't looking for anything, right? Because they had the title to the house.
No, I was just.
And your granddad worked a great deal. I mean, right? And so, and they just wanted it was their title, and they said, "Well, no, sir, we can't close all this out until you open an estate."
Well, that's right. They said, "Well, we'll take occupancy. We'll take over the house. You just need to send us the probate and all of that." And I said, "Well, I'm not doing any of that." And they said, "Well, we can't do anything with you then." And I said, "Well, what happens if I don't do anything?" And they said, "Well, after 60 days, we'll file with the court and we'll take over the home, and then anything within the home that And I said, "Okay, well, it'll be here when you get here."
There you go. That's plan B is what we're going to do.
That's exactly. I was like, well, y'all have fun with that, and I suppose they did. All right, 54 after the hour, Jay. We are simply out of time. I love that Olivia contributed today. I heard a couple of contributions there in the background. Tell her that whatever snacks she gets over the weekend are well deserved.
Well, I'm telling you, Matt, that is the result of this allergy shot that she's got. I mean, I'm getting me one of those shots.
Well, I'll tell you what happens, Jay. this is a few years ago. I went to the doctor. I was feeling down like I am now. And I went and got a steroid shot. And I felt so much better that the next time I was at the doctor's, I said, why can't I just get one of these steroid shots every time I'm here? And they were like, well, it doesn't work that way. I said, well, it makes me feel so much better. And they're like, well, yeah, we get that. I was like, well, I want one like every 3 weeks. And they said no. and I never got a good answer as to why not. So I don't know.
Well, it's not healthy. You can't keep taking steroids.
That's what Jay's been talking to those doctors and lawyers. They talk to one another. Jay, love you, buddy. Have a great weekend. Hit them straight.
Thank you, brother.
All right, take care. There's Jay St. Clair. There's Fry Jay. It's 5 minutes until 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Got some rain moving into Nashville right now, and it's just rain. There are no storms, nothing severe. We're not going to have to worry about that until Monday, it looks like. And right now, the National Weather Service can't give us a timeline or the level of severity, but we'll be keeping an eye on it for you. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service says it was an EF4 tornado with winds up to 175 miles per hour that tore up Enid, Oklahoma yesterday. It was 5 football fields wide. It stayed on the ground for 9 miles, injuring 15 people, damaged and destroyed at least 40 homes and businesses. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z says there could be more dangerous storms across parts of the country over the next few days.
The atmosphere is primed for days of this. The National Weather Service will be out in Oklahoma and in the other places to see the surveys and see how strong those tornadoes were. But they're going to be busy for days to come because we've got more where that came from.
Yeah, there were 17 tornadoes from Oklahoma to Iowa yesterday. And again, here in Middle Tennessee, Monday looks to be a day of strong to possibly severe storms, and we're watching it for you. Here in Middle Tennessee, Nashville Electric Service says it wants to test putting power lines underground as part of the review of what went wrong during the response to the January ice storm. CEO Teresa Broyles-Applin announced it during this week's Metro Power Board meeting.
4 different neighborhood locations where we'll test out different technologies and approaches for doing that undergrounding, and that will help inform our system-wide undergrounding study that we're going to do.
On Wednesday, NES hired an engineering firm for that study, but did not disclose which neighborhoods, and the plan still needs approval of the Metro Power Board. Over at the State House, a deadly force bill has cleared the legislature, now heads to the governor. This law allows property owners to use lethal force to stop certain property crimes if they believe it is immediately necessary. A last-minute amendment removed a requirement that would have prohibited deadly force if the suspect is running away. Now that doesn't matter. The law takes effect July 1st if Governor Bill Lee signs it. And right now in Georgia, more than 40,000 acres have burned. And according to Governor Brian Kemp, there could be some weather conditions over the weekend that may fan the flames and make it even worse.
We believe that these 2 fires have created the most lost homes ever in the history of our state.
At least 120 homes damaged or destroyed in those Georgia wildfires. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Rutherford County, we've got a crash in the median, and it is backing up both directions of 840 between exit 53, which is I-24, and Nashville Highway Northwest Broad Street at exit 55. That's a 12-minute delay. Whites Creek, a crash, 24 eastbound before Old Hickory Boulevard, and in Antioch, an injury crash now, Bell Road just west of Cane Ridge Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, hour number 3 of the Matt Murphy Show cranks up right now. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Jump on the phone lines if you so desire, 615-737-9986. We got Ninkham in the news coming up. It's a First Amendment Freestyle Friday. We just finished up Friday. We got a lot going on, and we are at Twin Creeks Marina. Man, oh, man, it's beautiful out here. Now, I understand there's a little rain coming in. No inclement weather tonight. Plenty of time for you to get down here and get under the incredible canopy on the lake as we enjoy some food from Drafts and Watercrafts. And we're going to talk to the founder of that feast coming up in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But plenty of time for you to get here. And obviously, folks, this is our, I guess, third year coming to Twin Creeks. And it just gets better every year. Absolutely love what they do down here. Just over an hour or so from Nashville. It is one of the top waterfront destinations in this state. It is ideal for a weekend trip. They got cabins that you can rent. You can rent a boat. You don't have to have a boat. You can rent a boat, rent a cabin, and enjoy the weekend with your family right here in the beautiful state of Tennessee. And I know how awesome it is because every time I talk about Twin Creeks, every time I talk about Drafts and Watercrafts, every time I talk about Timms Ford Lake, people come down here to the marina, and they say, would you please be quiet and stop telling those Nashville people to come down here? This is our little secret. I said, no, I'm telling everybody. Scotty, I first met Scotty 3 years ago. What is up, buddy?
What's going on? Not many Scotty fans over there.
Good. I know. Well, there's at least one. You got a critic.
I know.
I know. You can't. Oh, look. That's how much they love you. They like to boo you. What's going on?
He's an Alabama fan.
I know. There's no.
But you mentioned about the boats and the cabins. But don't forget, we have an RV park here on site too.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So you can bring your camper. You can bring your RV.
That's right. That's right. Everything. Have all the houses been built?
There's still got some building going on. There's several for sale. They have, not only do they have the cabins and RV, but they also, a lot of Airbnbs are up in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Most of those Airbnbs come with golf carts. And, they also rent golf carts here, too. Like if you stay at the RV park or the cabin, you can get golf carts and, tour the whole resort.
Yeah, go across the property. And let me tell you, that there's nothing better. There's no better living than having one of those cabins, being in one of those Airbnbs, getting yourself a boat, and getting out on Timms Ford Lake. We did that last year. We're going to do it again this year, and it is, we rented one of the pet friendly. There's a couple pet friendly over there, and we got one of the pet friendly. Bought the dogs. It was their first time on a boat.
Really?
And they hated it, but whatever. We loved it.
Yeah.
Scotty, how long have you been here?
This is our 9th season that we've been open.
And you tell people, you've told me that, people calling you, they hear you on the radio.
That's right.
Scotty, you told me this story that you own a restaurant in town.
I do.
And in the summer months, you just kind of shifted over here, and then in the wintertime you're over there. Tell everybody that story.
Yeah, we have other restaurant. My restaurant's called Oasis Steakhouse. Been there 21 years this year, and we're kindly having, with us being a seasonal restaurant here at Drafts and Watercrafts, I was having problems finding especially kitchen help. And they was like, well, I can't come to work for y'all if I'm going to have a job in 6 months. So I said, well, I got to do something, keep them. So we started closing the Oasis down in the summer And when they leave here, they have a job to go there, so we are able to employ them year-round.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You're thinking about your folks, keeping good quality people in the kitchen,
That's
good
right.
quality people as a wait staff, and kind of serving everybody in the community.
Yes. So it's a great kind of change up of both worlds. You get to kind of be here during the summer, then you get to go up there. So it's a great change up.
Brother, it's like a party every night here.
It is. It's got a great atmosphere, a party vibe. We're start next week. We're going to have entertainment 7 days a week. I'm going to have live entertainment Monday all the way through. We do trivia over Monday night. We do live music on Tuesday nights. Wednesday nights we do Singo. We're going to be starting our Lake Island.
What is that? What did you just say?
Singo.
What is Singo?
It's bingo, but instead of calling out numbers, they play songs. And your board will have the names of the songs, and they stamp it. So it's kind of like bingo, but instead of numbers. It's not boring. You don't have to hear somebody out there just calling out numbers.
Yeah.
B3.
You come up with these games on your own there, Scott?
No, there's companies that do it,
Okay.
but we do that. We're going to have to start our Lake Island.
Answer that and tell them you're on the radio. Just you should answer it and just say, I'm on the radio right now.
So you remember we talked about our Lake Idol?
Yeah.
This is one of our biggest things that we do here every season, and it's a singing competition.
Uh-huh.
It's sponsored again this year by Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
We're giving away $1,000 to the winner. It doesn't cost anything to get in it. You can bring your instrument. You can do karaoke, and the only stipulation, you got to be 16 years and over, and you got to sing 2 songs.
Okay.
And we do it every Thursday night. Sign up start at 6. You got to have your music turned in by 7, and we start the idol at 7. And we do this for 14 weeks. We'll pick 13 winners every week. They'll win a prize pack from Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
And then on the 13th, after we pick 13, the 14th week, we do those winners will compete for $1,000.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great turnout. Then
People love it.
We have live bands every Friday and Saturday, and then we do live music on Sundays also.
When is the what night are the Lake Idol? What is
our first week of Lake Idol is going to be May 21st.
Okay.
And it'll go 14 weeks straight every Thursday.
Every Thursday night. And obviously you mentioned the live music. What do you got going on the menu? That's what I want to know.
We're not your average menu. We have steaks, we've got seafood, we've got pizzas.
Do you kind of, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you kind of bring over the Oasis vibe, I mean, with the steaks and all that, you kind of bring an Oasis to the lake, right?
We do. We're one of the only restaurants on the lake that don't do all fried menu. We try to be a little bit healthier. We don't have fryers in our building. Everything we have is grilled or broiled or baked. We got some of the best pizzas around. We've also got a full bar. We do all types of specialty drinks. We do frozen drinks, have a whole line of them. We've added a new frozen drink
Those
this
whackers
year.
will get you, man.
You have to try the new one.
What do you got?
The Bananas Foster. I went to New Orleans about 3 weeks ago, and they had a Bananas Foster, and the bartender gave me the recipe, and it's excellent.
So you're just putting that up?
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
7 o'clock needs to get here now. Now, I was told without reservation that I was not allowed back in the house.
Yeah.
If I didn't bring home the famous bacon and pickle pizza.
Yes.
I mean, people know about this thing is and we've had it. It is fabulous.
I told you the story on that, didn't I?
No.
The owner, he's passed away now. One of the owners of Twin Creeks, and when our first year we done it, I come up with that pizza, and he's like, "There's no way that nobody's gonna eat that pizza."
He's like, "This is foolish."
Yes, he says that's crazy. Nobody's gonna eat that. So we come down and had like a little tasting. So he came down the day before we opened, and he tried that pizza. He came in the next 4 days and ordered that pizza. He said, that's the best pizza I've ever eaten.
It's good. It's good. But you just told us right before we came on air that you got a new pizza variety on the menu called the Little Mac.
Yes.
Now, we don't want to get you sued by any big corporations, but tell me what the Little Mac is.
It's kind of like another burger that you've heard the word Mac in.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
It's got
like a bigger variety.
Yeah. It's the base is Thousand Island.
Uh-huh.
And it's got hamburger meat, it's got onions, it's got diced fresh tomatoes, and it's got dill pickle chips.
Heck yeah, it does.
Yeah. So it's called the Little Mac.
I like it. Well, I tell you what, anything with Thousand Islands on it, you got me. You got me.
That's one of my
You got
favorites.
me in. What else do we need to know about this? I mean, we're just kind of cranking up the season, right?
We are. Something else I want to talk about. They're doing the lights over the lake again this year. That's our fireworks show.
Right.
They do it 4th of July every year. They shoot them off across the lake from us, so we've got the best view on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And that night we do reservations only. So if you want to check in and do reservations, you can do our lights over the lake on 4th of July night and have the best seat on the water.
Nice. And you better do those quick.
Yeah, we start doing it around the 1st of June. We start taking our reservations.
You better do those quick. And, and I know that, in terms of just all of the event space around, I mean, y'all got spaces for weddings. You get wedding venues. You've got just something for the entire family or couples, or you just got there's just something down here to do for everybody.
I mean, we're just a little over an hour outside of Nashville.
That's right.
We have probably – you wouldn't believe the amount of people from Nashville coming down having bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, rehearsal dinners. We can do all that stuff. We do catering here at Drafts and Watercrafts. So we can fix you up with anything you need on any events or anything you want to do.
Scott just wrote in and wanted me to offer you a message, Scotty. Now, I don't think this is family because it's the same name, but they said, you tell Scotty his fried dill pickle pizza is probably the most amazing thing I've ever eaten. Well, I don't think it's fried, but
no, but I bet it's the same one you're talking about.
It's exactly the same thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it is. You just got to try it. I mean, the bacon and the pickle, when you put that together on top of that pie, it is.
Do you know what a lot of people say it tastes like?
What's that?
A Crystal Burger.
No, I feel it. I feel
Yeah,
it. I can taste that.
Yeah.
I can feel that with the bacon and the yeah. No, I feel that. No, it's good. Well, I've never had a bad thing. I mean, and I'm not saying that because y'all invite us out here. I've never tasted a bad meal at Drafts and Watercrafts, and the beer goes down pretty good too.
Oh, it goes down super smooth.
Listen, if you have yourself an adult beverage, it tastes 100 times better on the lake.
Then you was just over there feeding our fish. Like, tell them about all these. How many? Of
I'm
these
trying
fish,
to feed the turtles. The poor turtles, man.
They get beat out.
They get beat out by the. What are those? Are those carp? Darn carp. That gum carp. No, listen. It's proof positive that animals evolve. If y'all don't believe that animals can evolve, y'all come out here and look at these fish. They know where to hang out.
Yeah.
They know where the gumball machine is, and I guarantee you, it's always there. But I guarantee if you moved that gumball machine down there, within 3 days the fish will be down there because they know to follow that gumball.
Well, funny that when you come down here in the winter, none of these fish are here. So they know when we come back.
Oh, yeah.
Within a day after we're here, I guess they hear the footsteps, but they're all back again.
Well, and I just feel bad for the turtles.
Yeah.
The poor turtle. They were competing. They were competing for some of the fish food that I was giving them. But listen, Scotty, you know how much we appreciate you. And I invite people to get down here. The folks in Winchester say, stop it, don't do it. We got enough Nashville. No, we don't. Y'all need to come down here and experience it for yourself because it is just a little oasis a little over an hour away from here.
It is for sure.
Well, we appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, there's Scotty with Drafts and Watercrafts and with Twin Creeks Marina. I'll tell you what, we'll take a short time out. It's about 19 after 5. We'll get back to a few things that you need to know about before we get you out of here and call it a weekend, to include, yes, you've heard Ken Weaver correctly, that the new legislation that was just passed by the Tennessee General Assembly would give you an opportunity to stop an intruder in your home and to use deadly force if you consider deadly force to be absolutely necessary. I'm all good. If you find an intruder is killing your livestock, for example, well, you can kill them. If you find that an intruder is endangering your family in some form or fashion and you believe that deadly force is the only way to stop them from doing that, well, you can kill them. And they took – initially there was an amendment that would disallow an individual from being shot in the back, and they took that out, according to Representative Scott Sapicki. So, I will detail it for you and just I've not read the legislation, so I don't know that I can offer you an opinion on it, but I'll try to detail it with you, and we'll deal with it in real time. Plus, I have a call out to you mothers, and we did some other things, and we had Friday going on. But you mothers and fathers that have family in the ESA program, do you need the testing? Do you feel like that your kids are over-tested in Tennessee education? Because the ESA program just eliminated the TCAP testing program. In other words, we're not going to monitor that level of progress any longer for those youngsters that utilize ESA and go into private educational opportunities as opposed to the failing public schools that they find themselves in. We want to talk about that as well. 615-737-9986. It's the Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yeah, I'm looking good. That's good. Perfect.
I hope that Holly and or David would be listening right now from Savory Spice, because I just got a message from Cameron Smith, and he said, I went to Savory Spice today, and he was praising Pam. Yeah. Were you praising Pam? Yep. He was praising Pam as a wonderful help to him. What'd you go get? Can you say?
I needed spices for a lamb marinade.
Ooh.
And so I got it. We tried many different ones, and they have tea there.
They do.
I did not know they had loose leaf tea.
You know what? I should maybe promote more of the other things they have outside of the spices and the seasonings and the salts and the peppers and the different flavorings. They've got things that are unique and specific to Savory Spice, in as much as they build the seasonings right there in their shop, and they sell them in the same shop. They also have great gift-giving ideas. Cameron mentions the teas. They've got syrups. They've got all manner of different things for the cook in the kitchen. If you love cooking, you need to get to Savory Spice. If you know someone that loves cooking, you need to get to Savory Spice. If you're looking to restock the cupboards, Savory Spice. If you're looking for an exotic flavor, Savory Spice. You don't have to pay more to get more, and you get more at Savory Spice. So from Cameron and Matt, thank you, Holly. Thank you, David. Thank you, Savory Spice, located just off the square in Franklin. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy for Genesis Diamonds. The word that comes to mind when I think of Genesis Diamonds is integrity. This is a company built on a solid foundation with incredible transparency and honesty. This is why they don't have commissioned salespeople at Genesis Diamond. Think about that for a minute. When you walk in and someone's incentivized to sell you more, to upsell you, they're going to be pressuring you to buy that thing that perhaps you can't afford. At Genesis, they want to be family. They don't want to pressure you. So you're never pressured to buy. You're never pressured to do anything that you don't want to do. They just are there for a relational experience. They're going to walk you through the process, explain it to you, educate you, and then you get to select the diamond that's right for you and your family for whatever the occasion might be. Don't forget, only Genesis has the top bridal designer brands that everyone wants. Don't forget, they are your luxury pre-owned Rolex superstore at Genesis Diamonds, both locations, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the true diamond leader in this community, Genesis Diamonds.
"17 tornadoes from Oklahoma to Iowa, and there may be more on the way for parts of the country over the weekend. Right now in Georgia, they've got at least 120 homes destroyed by wildfires, and it might be getting worse this weekend. And here in Tennessee, a bill redefining when deadly force can be used to protect your property. All this and more coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
99.7 WTN. We're going to get into this subject, and we'll continue it through or after Ninkham Poops in the News. I hope that, hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Is Ken back? Ken Weaver?
Yes, sir.
You ready for some Ninkham Poops?
I'm ready, dude.
I'm ready,
I
too.
got my story.
I got my story, too. I got my story, and I don't know who gets to go first, but I think it ought to be me, but, whatever. I'm just worried, Ken. I'm worried. I'll tell you what, Ken.
What's that?
Where is your story from?
I can't tell you that, Brother Murphy. You might take it.
Well, I don't want to. Mine's from Wildwood, Florida.
Mine's from the Globe.
Okay, good. All right, we're fine. We're fine, Ken. Just don't let RJ go second.
Right.
And we're fine. Ninkham Poops in the News. RJ's chomping. Brian Wilson.
He'd say champing.
He would say champing. And because Brian was so good to me yesterday and filled in for me, I'll say RJ's champing.
He's champing at the bit.
At the bit.
Well, I had a story yesterday, and then it was Brian, so I couldn't use it. But I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
And it's neither of yours because mine's from California.
All right. Well, then we're all good, fellas. Ninkham Poops in the News coming up after the real news, which is happening about 5 or so minutes from now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Okay, let me give you the details on this thing. It can be somewhat confusing. So there, obviously it was a heated debate on the floor of the Tennessee House that broke out yesterday. Look, I'm sick one day, and the Tennessee legislature decided just to go on home. I don't get it, but that's what happened, right? They were doing fine. They were passing good bills, bad bills, indifferent bills, whatever. And then I'm out for one day, and they just sine died it, and goodbye. By the way, previous caller said that sine die, and I think I'm mispronouncing that, but I don't care. The sine die means that the legislature is over. It is not my favorite Latin legal term. My favorite Latin legal term comes from the fabulous feature film My Cousin Vinny, when the prosecuting attorney said that he wanted to voir dire this witness. And he did. And the witness was Marissa Tomei, so that's like kind of a twofer, right? Anyway, heated exchange on the Tennessee floor broke out. Lawmakers passed legislation that would define when property owners can claim self-defense and when it would be lawful to shoot trespassers. The debate was intensified by Justin Jones. Justin Jones, he's a rabble-rouser. No reporters, to my knowledge, have yet to ask Justin Jones about his culpability in a sexual assault claim that occurred in 2020 outside of the State House prior to his being a representative of the House. He was a part of an activist organization that covered up 2 legitimate claims of sexual abuse, and no reporter will ask him about those accusations that caused an individual to leave his organization. Anyway, I digress. Justin Jones got all upset, challenged examples offered by Representative Kip Capley, my Republican representative in the House, who offered up House Bill 1802 and Senate Bill 1847. When asked why the legislation was necessary, he said, right now under current law, if someone's breaking into your property, if they're stealing from you, if they're destroying what you've worked your entire life to build, you're expected to wait, you're expected to hesitate, you're expected to second-guess yourself and take a calculated risk on defending what is yours. Jones said, I hope you'd be very serious in considering the legislation like this. You can laugh all you want, but I see that your answers are non-existent, just like your hairline. And then he just dropped the microphone. So Justin Jones is not a serious individual. Representative Greg Martin is a more serious individual, and he said, told lawmakers on the floor of the House that he was worried the bill would justify someone shooting, for example, an older person with dementia who unknowingly was in the wrong place based on the belief that the person was going to act nefariously. Capley defended his legislation, argued that the property owner should not have to stand by while criminals steal their property. If someone's burning down your barn, and you've spent 20 years of my life building the barn for $5 million or whatever, if I don't stop him, then it's going to be on me. It's going to be on my family. I'm going to have to defend myself because the criminal came on my property. The bill passed along party lines in both the House and the Senate. Here's the bottom line on it. I need to read specific legislative language to better understand it. I don't want to go off half-cocked. I'm predisposed to agree with it. I'm predisposed to believe that you ought to have the opportunity to defend your property and those things on your property, just as you have the opportunity to defend your family. And I think a more robust defense of an individual that uses deadly force in the sad event that they have to do so is a good thing. So I would have to be taken off this bill. In other words, I am predisposed to support it, and I would have to see reasons not to support it in order to not support it. But I could be talked down from it if given the opportunity. 615-737-9986. Oh, I lost my StreamYard. That's unfortunate. We'll try to get that back. Oh, wait. No, I have a Super Talk line. I just don't have StreamYard. I might need to re-log in. 615-737-9986. We'll get back to more of your calls, more of your commentary, and Nincompoops in the News is coming up right after the real news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Right now, we got some rain moving through Nashville. It is just rain. There's nothing severe in this line of rain that stretches all the way from Bowling Green. Well, it stretches all the way from the Great Lakes all the way back down into Mississippi right now. We need to turn him down there, Brother RJ. So, yeah, we've got the rain moving through Nashville right now. Again, that's all it is just rain, nothing severe. Now, Monday could be a different story. We've got our eyes on that. We're going to have to be tracking that because we could get some strong to severe storms on Monday. National Weather Service right now not ready to put out a timeline or just how severe, but we are monitoring it for you. We'll let you know as soon as they put that out. Now, in Oklahoma, the National Weather Service says it was an EF4 tornado with 175-mile-per-hour winds that tore up parts of Enid yesterday. It was 5 football fields wide. It was on the ground for 9 miles. It injured 15 people and damaged or destroyed at least 40 homes and businesses. Here's Ginger Z.
Husband and wife, Jason and Dana Campbell, were about 5 miles apart when the tornado tore through. She drove from their home to her job to take shelter, while he was with his father.
When it started forming and it coming to us, you know, that's when Dana's like, honey, I'm going to take a shelter. And I told her to go. You know, it's just like my dad. And like I said, he's 82, so it's hard for him to get around.
While several injuries have been reported, most are described as minor.
Now, right now in Georgia, they need rain and lots of it.
We got the 2 most dangerous, biggest problematic fires anywhere in the United States within, really just a very small area that we're having to fight.
That's Governor Brian Kemp. He says more than 40,000 acres have burned there in southeast Georgia, and they've already claimed the most homes and structures, as you heard, in the state's history at more than 120. And here in Tennessee, lawmakers approved legislation allowing deadly force to be used in defense of property under specific conditions. The measure applies to crimes including burglary, arson, robbery, and aggravated cruelty to animals. An amendment adopted in the House removed limits tied to whether the suspect was running away. You can take that person out no matter where he is headed, he or she. Critics say the bill risks escalating property crimes into deadly confrontations. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Murfreesboro still got that crash in the median, 840, both directions impacted. That's going to be just east of 24 and before New Nashville Highway, Northwest Broad Street. That's an 8-minute delay. Also in Murfreesboro, a crash Northwest Broad Street right there at Medical Center Parkway. Then in Creve Hall, an injury crash, Harding Place at Trousdale Drive. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. Folks, when you travel through the city,
sometimes you'll see these big billboards. They say U.S. Pest on them. Those are J.K. and Erica's billboards. You notice that you'll always see an American flag flying on one of those billboards. And we always mention how much they love these United States of America because America helped J.K. and Erica build U.S. Pest from what it was over the years to what it is now. It is the finest pest control company in Middle Tennessee, bar none. They're going to handle the issues that you have in your home, whether they're termites or just general bugs. Maybe you got roaches. Maybe you got spiders. Maybe you need crawl space relief. All of this is with a 100% money-back guarantee. But when you see those American flags flying or you hear me mention their love of this to the United States, know this. One thing you need to know about them, they love the United States of America. And the second thing you need to know about them is they hate bugs, and they will destroy them and where they live and where they breed and where they breathe in and around your property. All you got to do is call them. USPest.com. That's USPest.com or 590-1260. 590-1260. Give them a call and tell them that I sent you to the one and only U.S. Pest. Talk 99.7 WTN. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. I am so pleased you've joined us. It is officially the weekend. I normally say this at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, but I was remiss in not doing so. I was so excited to talk to Scotty at Twin Creeks Marina. You know, he is the proprietor of Drafts and Watercrafts, but I have not forgotten all of you weekend warriors. We like to celebrate you weekend warriors when we celebrate the weekend, right? Because we enjoy our Saturdays and Sundays, spend time with family and friends. A little rain coming in, and then some inclement weather coming in on Monday, I guess. But this is just rain and nonsense right now. I know that we've had tornadoes up in Oklahoma, and there's been a lot of nastiness with this weather system, but should not impact us too badly. Bottom line is this. For you weekend warriors out there, you firefighters, you EMTs, you doctors, nurses, police officers, you truck drivers, those of you that run the restaurants that we go to on the weekends, those of you that work the convenience stores that we go to on the weekends for whatever, gas stations and all of that, we thank you, weekend warriors. We salute you. We appreciate you. And we thank you for helping make our weekends as good as possible. With that in mind, here's the thing. Why is Mike in Old Hickory calling back? I mean, RJ, is Mike in Old Hickory upset at me for some reason or another, or does he
wants to ask about the midterms and whether or not Trump can get removed if they impeach him day one and the Senate votes Democrat?
All right. Well, Mike, here's the deal. There are very, very few rules on the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Longtime listeners know that there's basically 3 rules. 3. Count them, 1, 2, 3. Rule number 1, call the show only once per day. Rule number 2, don't be boring. Rule number 3, don't read to me. And if you don't understand why I don't want you to read to me,
see rule number 2. I had to clarify I had to add rule number 3 because there was some there were some misconceptions about rule number 2. Reading on the radio is always boring. So really there's only 2 rules. Call only once per day and don't be boring. Because if you're boring, then you're hurting my career, right? So you gotta entertain the audience as you speak. And Mike is asking to violate rule number 1, which is a sacrosanct rule. There has to be darn good reason to be in violation of rule number 1. So here's what I'm going to do, RJ, before we get into nincompoops.
Yes,
I'm going to ask you to put Mike on the line. Before you do, though, we're going to put him on the line, and Mike has to justify his second call of the day in the first 10 or 15 seconds. And if you, RJ, hear me go, amp, then hang up on him. Is that fair?
Yes, sir, Captain.
All right. Mike in Old Hickory, justify you violating rule number 1. Hello, Mike.
Seems he's vanished on us.
All right. Well, then there you go. Mike is gone. Let's get to that nice button, RJ, and everybody loves hearing it because it means that it's time for the nincompoops in the news.
Nincompoops in the news.
Listen, we've got a lot of news going on. Some bad. These Oklahoma tornadoes, just awful. Ken Weaver's been telling you about that. Vital news of importance to you. Ken's been sharing some of that with you, and we've been opining on said same. But now, friends, it is time to delve into the nincompoopery. That's right. It is an opportunity for the Matt Murphy Radio Show to look all across this great volunteer state of Tennessee. All these United States of America, 90 the globe, and find those nincompoops where they live and where they breathe. And we present them to you, and you get to vote. Now, it is a friendly competition today. We say it's a friendly because normally the nincompoops in the news crown is on the line, the trophy is on the line. Ken Weaver has already taken that trophy home with him for the week. That's great. By the way, Ken, congratulations on your accomplishment. It is a rare occurrence that someone wins on a Wednesday, but you did it, brother.
So that means I've had it for 2 straight weeks.
2 weeks in a row. And you can do anything you want with that trophy and that crown over the weekend.
I'm going to write my name on it.
Well, I would ask that you keep it family friendly,
Well,
Ken.
I need to do that.
But listen, I tell you, I think I've long said, now I've not seen it in a long time because I don't think I've held the trophy in 2026.
I don't think you have.
I don't think I have. But if I remember correctly, the top of that trophy looks perfect for a beer or 2. You know what I mean?
Oh, you can put 2 beers in that thing.
I bet you could, like the Stanley Cup. RJ is salivating over his opportunity, but RJ, you got to be here a whole week in order to be eligible for the Nincompoops trophy.
Yes,
you feel good about that story, RJ?
I feel pretty good. And you know what? As long as I got a fighting chance, because I was told the last time I filled in on Nincompoops, you were at Legend Steakhouse, and I got a lot of people saying I was boring. So I'm coming back with a vengeance on this one.
Oh, man. Well, let me tell you something. RJ, get used to that because the folks on the Super Text line during Nincompoops,
they're ruthless.
It's a brutal bunch.
Yes, sir.
They'll let you know. They'll put it right down there where the goats can graze on it, brother. They will let you know how they feel about it.
Well, you know what? I got a chip on my shoulder this time. So.
All right, let's go. All right, we're ready to go. All right, so RJ's competing. Matt Murphy's competing. Ken Weaver gets to decide the order today. Weaver, what do you think?
Well, I believe I'm going to let you go, Brother Murphy.
All right.
Then I'm going to let you go, Brother RJ, and then I'm going to bring up the rear.
There's a joke to be told there, but I'm not going to make it. Ken
was wondering.
Ken Weaver bringing up the back end. You hear a lot about back ends on Nincompoops in the news, I've noticed. But you're not going to hear about the back end with my story. You will hear, a lot of nincompoops come from Florida.
Yes, sir.
And I've noticed a lot of nincompoops engage in their nincompoopery at either a Waffle House or a Subway restaurant for some reason.
Might be because they've had some libations.
I believe that, Ken, you're not the best newsman in the business for nothing, my friend, and you are right on it. They have a few. Then they decide they get a little hungry and they want to go over to the Waffle House or the Huddle House or maybe the Subway open late and eat fresh, and here they go. A patron who was, quote, visibly upset about the hardness of his bread used for his sandwich, struck a Subway employee in the face.
Goodness.
Was it with the bread?
Well, hold your water. According to police who arrested the man for battery in the latest episode of fast food rage plaguing the country. Investigators say that Roy McIntosh, 43 years of age, arrived Tuesday morning at a Subway in Wildwood, Florida, and confronted a male employee with his bread beef. During a brief verbal altercation, McIntosh suddenly struck the worker across the left side of his face with an open hand.
Goodness.
He slapped
an open hand.
He gave him a slap. And the only thing would have made it better is if it had hit him with a leather glove.
Right.
Whap! You, sir, have besmirched my character.
Yes, sir.
When a responding officer spoke to the victim, the cop observed visible redness and a slight swelling to the left side of the face consistent with being struck. According to the arrest report, surveillance footage was reviewed, and it recording McIntosh striking the worker, who immediately stepped backward in apparent shock. The witness was seated in the restaurant booth, told police that the 6'2", 240-pound suspect became, quote, verbally upset and slapped the victim across his face before exiting the business. Police subsequently tracked down McIntosh, who lives about 3 miles from the Subway, and he reportedly confessed to striking the sandwich artist, claiming that the victim intentionally gave him day-old stale bread on a sandwich that he purchased a week earlier.
On purpose?
So 2 things in that statement. Number 1, he claims that it was on purpose. And number 2, he waited a week, y'all.
Yeah.
A week to come back and get justice. McIntosh claimed when he confronted the worker that the worker just began to laugh, and that caused him to strike the victim. McIntosh was booked into the county jail for battery. He's been released after posting a $1,000 bond on the misdemeanor charge. Court records do not further identify what type of sandwich McIntosh ordered or whether the bread in question was of the footlong variety. So in answer to your question, RJ, no, apparently he ate the food, waited a week, and then came back and struck the man about the face.
See, that's what you call having some principle, because it's like he gave them time to make amends, and clearly he didn't think they were met.
So RJ's making a case that this man is no nincompoop. He merely wanted justice for his sandwich. Maybe so. Maybe so. We'll let the audience decide. Ken Weaver?
Hey, it's Brother RJ.
Oh, RJ, your turn. Your nincompoop, sir.
All right, well, I think we agree on the Florida sentiment, but I think California is a close runner-up for nincompoops.
Agreed.
And this one, the California furry bear suit luxury car scam ends in insurance fraud sentences for 3 people.
Wait, what?
We've already done this one, RJ.
Oh, we have?
RJ, it's a repeat, but we'll let you finish.
You go ahead and do it, brother.
No, if I fail, I failed on that one.
Nah, let's hear
well,
your chops.
It's hard because we do 3 a day, and, we mine these fields out here, brother. So we get it. Go ahead and throw that story down there.
Do it.
Well, 3 people in California sentenced for insurance fraud in a scam involving them using a furry costume with a bear to damage luxury cars. California Insurance Department said 3 used a bear suit to stage fake attacks in a Rolls-Royce and 2 Mercedes in 2024 and submitted fraudulent claims seeking $142,000 in payouts from insurance companies, which was later called Operation Bear Claw. 2 L.A. men and women pleaded no contest to felony insurance fraud.
I love that RJ's pausing for pause for effect. All right, go ahead, RJ.
No, I was catching my place, actually. My phone was being stupid. And they were ordered to pay $50,000 in restitution, and a 4th person now faces a court hearing in September. The group provided several videos to from the San Bernardino Mountains of bears moving in the vehicles, and a California Department of Fish and Wildlife biologist reviewed the footage, concluding it was clearly a human in a bear suit.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Nincompoops, all of them.
Nincompoops are all about us. Ken Weaver, your nincompoop, sir.
This one here is out of Houston, Texas, where a Spring Independent School District teacher allegedly ran from police while he was half naked. 32-year-old Tyler Canada is charged with evading arrest with a vehicle and evading arrest. He appeared in court on Saturday. Middle school teacher, he was arrested for evading the police department after officers tried to initiate a traffic stop. At some point, the vehicle that Mr. Canada was in stopped, and Mr. Canada got out and ran away. The problem with Mr. Canada wasn't just that he was violating traffic rules. He wasn't wearing anything from the waist down.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a middle school theater teacher.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and so the local TV station there, Fox 26, they reached out to the Spring Independent School District for a statement on whether or not Mr. Canada is still a teacher there at the middle school, and they said, we'll get back to you.
Well,
maybe he was just acting.
Maybe so. Maybe, well, you know, those method actors,
Yeah.
they take it to the next level, Ken. Those method actors.
Didn't have any pants on.
Well, you know, that's what the role called for. The role called for no pants, so I'm going to wear no pants.
What was he driving around without any?
Yikes. Good Lord. Hey, hit that music there, RJ. That's how we play Nincompoops in the news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's a friendly match today. Vote Weaver, vote Murphy, vote RJ, and we'll give RJ a vote or two.
Absolutely.
Because after all, RJ, you know, he
didn't know.
He didn't know. You can't DQ a man for coming in cold. That's how we play it. Nincompoops in the news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll get back to the real news in a moment. We will talk to you about the end of the legislative session, and we'll talk to you about, I know it's a heavy subject, but we'll speak on the matter of assisted suicide. That is on the way on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Stand by.
Hello, folks. Matt Murphy for Better Water. Better Water. Everybody wants better water, right? But have you called Better Water LLC? Think of it as a big Brita filter for your home or your office. Scalable from under the sink. More on that in a moment. That's what I did in my home to whole house applications. They'll come out to your home and give you a free inspection and figure out what's going on in your home or your place of business. Is there sulfur in your water? Iron, chlorine, bacteria, E. coli? Do you have hard water, as they say? They offer a full range of water treatment options and equipment, from reverse osmosis units to water softeners, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it. They do it based out of Smyrna right here in Middle Tennessee. So we received an RO system in our home under the sink that eliminates and filters the water and gives us that beautiful branch that we like to drink from. Now, we were told that our water is A-OK, but from a taste perspective, we wanted to make sure that we had it pristine, and we've got it now. Thanks to Better Water LLC. They're going to talk to you, and they're going to figure out what you need for your home, and they're going to help you treat that water. They treat the water at the hospitals, they treat the water at the coffee shop, and they want to do your home or your place of business as well. Give them a call. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you, 615-355-6063, 355-6063, or online at betterwater.com, betterwater.com.
Tornadoes, wildfires, and a new deadly force law in Tennessee. All this and more coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy Show continues. Hello, how are you? We are broadcasting from Twin Creeks Marina. Happy to be here. We got another hour to go after we get to the top of the hour news, which is coming up in just moments. I'm holding off. I don't know that the new legislation. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to try to get Kip Capley on the show next week. He was the sponsor of this bill that would broaden the definition of what is and is not self-defense on your own property with regard to what you can do if someone is doing damage to your property, doing damage to your, property of all sorts, of all types, like your barn, your livestock, your animal, your dog, for example. So we're going to get some clarity on that. I don't want to go off half-cocked on it. I've not read the legislation. I frankly was not aware that the legislation was coming up for a vote. I'm just being honest with you. I try to keep up with these things for a living. It's part of what we do. Was unaware of it. So we will become aware of it, and I don't want to shoot off half-cocked and suggest that I understand legislation that I don't understand. That's that's the way I'm trying to do it for you. I do understand some of the legislation that's been passed by the Tennessee General Assembly, and I think the jury's still out on some of it. The illegal immigration pieces that have been passed are all good with me. It's one of the reasons I would give A grades to all of the immigration language that was created, creating a state-level criminal penalty for individuals who fail to leave Tennessee after receiving a final order of removal. Legislature passed bills requiring workers, or rather employers. What's up, brother? How are you? Requiring workers to use E-Verify. Banned illegals from receiving professional licenses, requiring driver's license examinations to be administered in English. These are all A grades from the legislature, all A grades. These are no-brainers, in my opinion. Some of the things they did, I'm a little more iffy on. And then there's another issue, and I hesitate to bring it up because we're having a good time out here at Twin Creeks Marina, but it is on my heart to do so, and that is the issue of assisted suicide, which there was language that was struck down in the UK regarding assisted suicide just today. And there was a story that was making international news regarding a woman going to Switzerland who decided to take her own life. It's a very tender topic, but we will bring it up. We're not afraid of it on the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is 6 o'clock, time for the news on Super Talk.
It is 6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Looking at radar right now, we've got some rain here in the Middle Tennessee region. The heaviest, just a couple of little spots north of Nashville, just south of Springfield. Another one there approaching Jolton, actually just to the west of Jolton there, but just very little spots of heavy rain. The rest of it is just light rain, and that's all it is rain. As far as severe weather goes, we've got our sights on Monday. That's the one we're going to have to watch. Right now, the National Weather Service isn't able to give us a timeline or severity, but they say that parts of Middle Tennessee, basically Clarksville, Waverly, and Waynesboro, are going to be in a level 2 out of 5 risk. We'll see how that changes as we move forward, and we'll let you know. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, the National Weather Service says that was an F4 tornado with 175-mile-per-hour winds that tore up parts of Enid yesterday. That was 5 football fields wide. It was on the ground for 9 miles. It injured 15 people, damaged and destroyed at least 40 homes and businesses, says Jim Ryan.
The roar was unmistakable.
Oh, my God!
Wow.
It was weird. You could feel the tornado. You could feel it in your chest.
Terry Washburn lives in Enid and watched as the twister moved in, leveling buildings in its path. The mayor reports 11 people injured, none seriously. For Terry Washburn,
You know, when they say it sounds kind of like a freight train, that's true. I mean, I'm never going to forget this.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Right now in Georgia, at least 120 homes destroyed by wildfires.
Being the number 1 and 2 ranked fires in the country, also the most homes lost ever in a Georgia fire, really shows you just how bad these two fires are.
As Governor Brian Kemp, he says more than 40,000 acres have burned in southeast Georgia, and what they're worried about is thunderstorms this weekend with the wind making matters worse. Here in Tennessee, a bill that redefines when deadly force can be used to protect property has passed the General Assembly. Supporters say it empowers victims to act without hesitation when crimes are underway. The final version includes an amendment that removes restrictions related to a suspect's position or direction, meaning that the original version said you couldn't kill a suspect if they were running away. Well, now that's been removed. You can just kill the suspect no matter the position or direction. That legislation now awaits the governor's signature, takes effect on July 1st. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Creve Hall still showing a crash with injury. Harding Place at Trousdale Drive. Very heavy traffic, brake tapping, I should say, if you're anywhere near Thompson Lane and Nolensville Pike. And then eastbound 24, you've got stop and go brake tapping from 440 all the way down to Thompson Lane before that gets any better. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Final hour of the day and final hour of the week. We appreciate you being with us, whether you're in person. We've met a lot of listeners down at Timms Ford Lake at Twin Creeks Marina. Several of you coming up to us saying hello, and we appreciate each and every one of you, whether you love the show, hate the show, I don't know. Just listen to the show from 3 until 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A part of a lineup of live and local conversations starting in the morning with Dan Mandis, rolling through Chris Hand until noon, Chad Benson from noon until 3, and yours truly getting you home until 7 o'clock when I am able. Was unable yesterday, and once again, just a reminder that I thank Brian Wilson for stopping by. I'm losing the voice just a little bit, so I'll lean on you. 615-737-9986 in the final hour of the show. If you have anything to say, any comment on subjects that we have brought up, or if you want to bring up your own. Part of me wants to bring up this story, and I've lost my story. I don't know how I did it, but I've lost my story out of the UK. Oh, here it is, actually. I do have it. And it might be, I'm oftentimes, I'm aware of my surroundings, and I don't want to bring up such a heavy subject that I know people are going to have such strong opinions on, but I guess it weighs on my heart to bring this up. It is a very, very sad story, and there's no way around that, but it is also a story regarding the ultimate ability for one to take part in something or not take part in something if they choose not to take part in something. And I am a spiritual being. We're all spiritual beings, in my opinion. And I want people to lean on the spiritual side when it comes to matters of life and of death. I mean, obviously, I think we would all want that. But I also I firmly believe and I strongly advocate for the ability for people to choose to worship, to choose to believe, or to choose not to. And my basis of justification for that is simple, that God gave us free will, and so why in the world would we want man to take it away and subject us to what are clearly faith-based or biblical concepts and enforce those concepts into law? And it is with that in mind that I talk about the idea of no longer taking part in life. And I'm of the belief, and have always been of the belief, that if you are determined to be of sound mind, that you should have the ultimate decision-making authority as to whether or not you continue on in this life. And for the most part, we have been talking about individuals that are terminally ill, right? I watched some of this in person as a younger man with my mother. Ultimately, my mother was not able to make any determination about continuation of life because she was unable to do so. She fell into a coma, and she was brain dead, and her body was still functioning. And we meaning my brother, my sister, myself, had to make a determination about how to continue her health care. And we did. And it was one of the more difficult periods of my life and one of the more difficult decisions that I've ever made. But we determined to take her off life support. And at the time that this was happening, there was a case, a very famous or infamous case going on involving a woman by the name of Terry Schiavo. You might remember Terry Schiavo. My mother's situation was very similar to Terry Schiavo's. There was no dispute within the family, but outside of that, the circumstances almost overlaid one another in that she was determined to be brain dead, and there was an inability for her to come out of that. My mother, for those who don't know, had a malignant brain tumor when I was 5 years old. They had to remove the brain tumor. They took out 2/3 of her cerebellum in 1978. It was a risky surgery. Certainly it was a risky surgery then. It would be a risky surgery now. She was given a 50% chance to live less than 2 months, and she was given a 20% chance to live more than 5 years, and my mother ultimately lived 25 years. The last 12, I guess, of those years, she was in an assisted living facility, and she suffered a stroke, and we had to make this awful decision. And thankfully, my brother, my sister, and I, we loved one another very much, and we loved our mother very much, and we let her go. In this case, we're talking about people making those decisions for themselves. And it is one of those situations where I'm going to lean on my faith and lean on the ability for others to not share that faith, and to suggest that we never want a government to be powerful enough to supersede faith. We never want force to supersede faith or even a lack thereof in a freedom-loving society. And it tears our guts out to consider that there are some people that are suffering enough that they would choose to leave this earth. But there are some people that are. And sometimes that suffering is not physical. And this story is very sad. And once again, understand, I hesitate bringing it up, but I just feel compelled to do so. The story involves a British mother who died at an assisted suicide clinic overseas in Switzerland. It was what was referred to as a, quote, sane suicide. And I'm sorry, I'm telling this subject, and I feel like we're gonna get delisted on YouTube for talking about this. So I'm sorry for that, but you know how they do. If you bring up certain words, they flag certain words, and then they take you off the platform. So maybe that's happening as we speak. But very tender subject. The woman was named Wendy Duffy. She was 56 years old. She passed away at this clinic at her own request. She was assisted to do so today, and the procedure was completed without incidents, and what the organization said was in full compliance with her wishes. The reason that she wanted to leave was because she lost her son. Duffy was a former care worker in England, and she went to Switzerland to take her own life. She said that it was the only way that she mentally could be free from the overwhelming grief that she had been experiencing for the last 4 years after losing her son. This was her second attempt. Her son died at the age of 23 in a very tragic and odd accident. He choked on a tomato that became lodged in his windpipe while eating a sandwich. 9 months later, Mother Duffy attempted to leave by overdosing, and she had to be put on a ventilator, and then she ultimately made the decision that she wanted to do this. She said that she went through years of therapy, that she took massive amounts of medication and went to therapy for years to attempt to overcome the grief that she felt for her only child leaving, and she could not overcome it. And she went on to say before passing that she believed that her son would understand her choice. Here's where I'm at on this, and I bring it up for this reason, that we would all hope that people would make different decisions based on our belief that everything can get better, that there is hope that tomorrow brings a brighter day, that tomorrow brings a brighter future, that that something might come into our lives that would lead us to a better existence on this earth. And sadly, for some people, that reality never comes, and for some people, that reality never will. And I am not cold-hearted. I am clear-eyed when I say this, that I believe that in almost any system imaginable, I cannot think of an example that would disprove what I'm about to say, that if you, as a freedom-loving person, do not wish to take part in something, that you should not be forced to take part in that something. And it's so long as you're not violating the rights of other people, right? So obviously you are expected and forced to take part in the laws of civilized society, for example. Well, those rules of civilized society are designed to prevent individuals from taking away the rights of other people to live a life of their own choosing. So this would obviously, if you chose to steal from others, or if you chose to take another's life, or if you chose to do something that would violate the laws of society, then you're ultimately putting others at risk or violating their rights. So, set that aside for a moment. I don't believe it. And when I have brought this subject up in the past, some have said, well, what about the example that's brought to me all the time is the Civil War. Well, the South just didn't want to take part in the grand experiment that was the United States. Philosophically, the South was correct. Now, functionally, I believe the South was wrong because the South was engaged in what I consider to be and what most thinking people consider to be a great evil, and that was the enslavement of other human beings. But from a philosophical standpoint, the South said, we no longer want to be a part of this and we want to leave. And they would have left, but for the fact that the North said, no, you're not going to leave, and we're going to fight you to make you stay. If the South had won, we would be two separate countries right now. But the South didn't. The South lost, and that's why we are still the full United States of America. So you understand how that example, it took a war to demonstrate that my example or my philosophy isn't correct. I just bring that up because invariably when I bring the subject up, that example comes up. It is an incredibly tender subject, but I would suggest to examine how much government you want in your lives. Do you really want a government that is powerful enough that it forces you to be a part of something that you truly and fundamentally and rationally do not wish to be a part of? Now, an argument can be made that no one that wants to take their life is of a sound mind. And I would just disagree with that. I understand that that is a very controversial thing to say, but it's something that I believe because there are people that do exist and that have existed that are in such pain on this mortal coil that they are ready for their next life. And many of these people, I would add, are very faithful people. They truly believe that there is a next life, a better life. And embedded in their faith-based belief is one that God would not judge them for giving up on this earth. That's a heavy subject for a Friday afternoon, but it was on my heart to bring it up, and so we did. If you have any thoughts on it, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. There is better news of a lighter variety, and it's really good news. Y'all know that I am a big believer in the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and I believe in doing anything and everything necessary to save the Speedway because otherwise you lose it and it's gone forever, and it's something that's been a part of Nashville, Tennessee since 1904. A big, big step in saving the Speedway happened today. I'm going to tell you about that, and we'll take your calls coming up on a Friday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. It is 20 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's going on, guys? Matt Murphy, and I'm talking about my incredible friends at the Glock store, and I want to ask you a favor. It is almost time for the 6th annual, number 6, open house at the Glock store. It's always a great time. There's lots to do and an incredible amount to win. Last year, they went double down on their raffles, and they gave away over $25,000 worth of incredible gear. They gave away 3 Glocks in one day, in 4 hours. 3 Glocks and $25,000 worth of gear and merchandise and all that. Twice as much as the year before. That's a lot of raffling. And man, oh man, Dan was busy that day because I was there. Well, we're really excited about this year's event, and it seems that the Glock store is doubling down again. I am first to tell you, and I'm probably doing this a little bit early, but I'm going to do it anyway. They have over $50,000 worth of incredible items that they're giving away in one day in just 4 hours at the Glock store. from Red Dot Optics to Radian Ramjets. I mean, it's the latest and greatest, and they're giving them away on May 30th. Now, what is the favor? The favor is this. Mark your calendars down. Do this for yourself. Do this for the gun enthusiast in your family. Do this for the Second Amendment. Get to the Glock store on May 30th. From 10 until 2, I'll be there. Mandis will be there. Chris Hand will be there. Don't let that dissuade you from getting to the Glock store, the 6th annual Nashville Open House at the Glock store, 10 until 2, May 30th, minutes away from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially on May 30th. It's the Glock store. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, Ken Weaver. Looking forward to that newscast. Man, I got to tell you, some of these storms seem to be busting up. They're coming toward Nashville, and they get to Nashville right around the ring. The lower smiley face that is 840, and I'm just looking at the radar. I'm just telling you, Kirby and I are wondering when the rains will come. We always get a little cloud cover when we come down. It seems. Sometimes we get sunshine. That one time it stormed that day, boy. We had some nice rainy weather if you're into that sort of thing. But this thing over Nashville, at least, it seems to be busting up a little bit, maybe hitting a lot of dry air. But there's more throughout Mississippi. Don't know if that's going to get to us one way or the other. Rain coming. Don't expect it to be necessarily of the severe variety, but we'll keep the lookout for that over the course of the evening. Love to see you at Twin Creeks Marina as we are broadcasting from Timms Ford Lake today until 7 o'clock. Jeff is on the line, and we'll talk with Jeff before we do get to the bottom of the hour news. And I've got some big news regarding the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. A big decision was made today, but before we get to that, it's Jeff's turn on the line. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Doing real good, Matt. I kind of wish it rained just a little bit to clean my windshield off.
Amen. We need it. We need the rain. If we can get some good soakers, we need some soaking rain, brother.
Yes, we do. But talking about this new law, man, I tell you what, I wish that was a federal law. Go across the whole nation, where you can basically somebody starts stealing from you, you can pretty much pop them, How much crime that would cut. And can you imagine what it'd be like if those laws were passed in blue states like California, and Illinois, and New York City? I mean, the storekeepers would just sit back there with a submachine gun and just start pop, 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 and just lining bodies up, because all they do is get stolen from and everything. So it might, I think it would do this nation a lot of good with a law like that.
Well, I don't know. I have not read the totality of the legislation, so I can't say exactly what it does. So I'm not reflecting on it until I do. But I don't think that the legislation gives you the ability just to pop somebody if they're stealing from your store or whatever. I don't believe that's the case.
Well, that would be.
But I don't know. Maybe it does. I mean, it is. Go ahead.
And the guy that's in the bear suit in the back of that car, somebody beat him up, that would be animal cruelty. Maybe they could shoot whoever's beating this guy up or something.
Well, that's a fair comment. That's a fair statement. A little animal cruelty action. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's just like, in the old days, they hung horse thieves and everything, so if you stole a horse, it was the law, they would hang you. And now we've gotten so timid on our laws that if you're committed a capital crime and you're in your 50s, you're liable to die of old age before you'll ever die of an executioner.
Yeah, so I remember a case in Alabama, and I want to say this was when I was still in Montgomery, Alabama, so it would have been sometime in 01, maybe 02, that an individual was asleep. That I want to get to the details right as I remember them. Person was asleep. They heard a commotion from their dining room. They got their weapon. They got out of the bed. They saw an individual breaking in. They had broken the glass in their window, and they were coming through the window of their dining room. And the person saw that they had a large, crowbar in their hand, and they screamed at them to get out of the house, and the person didn't. They stayed in the house, and they shot and they killed the person. And that individual was charged with manslaughter. And this is what started in Alabama the no duty to retreat law, which means that you don't have any duty or responsibility to retreat if there's someone breaking into your home. It is the concept of the castle doctrine, right? And this feels like an expansion of that to make sure that we err on the side of the individual who's being offended upon as opposed to the individual committing the offense. And if that's the basic premise of the law, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and just like your rights and everything, Kyle Rittenhouse would have had a field day, and it would have been a lot of justified shootings when they're burning the place down.
Well, once again, I think by your language, you keep trying to expand it into places that I don't think it goes, Jeff. I mean, we don't destroy the criminal element by becoming the criminals themselves, and so you don't just get to walk city streets and fire away at people that you believe are damaging other people's property. I'm not coming after you, but you understand what I'm saying.
Maybe it should. Like I say, we criminals get off so easily anymore and everything, and nothing's ever done to them, and you feel like you're just helpless. And it's just I know I'm taking it to extremes, but there needs to be something done.
Well, I get it. I think it's high time that we erred on the side of those. Like I say, and thank you for your call today, Jeff. I appreciate you. We're well beyond time that we err on the side of those who are being offended upon rather than those committing the offense. And for way too long, we put the onus on those who are being offended upon that you must abide by this and that, and you must cross this I and dot that T or whatever the hell. And, I just want to give the benefit of the doubt to the law-abiding citizen. And if that's what this does, more power to it. And it will be challenged. And ultimately, I've got to read it. I don't know. And once we see the language of it, if it passes constitutional muster, then I'm all about it. Thank you for your call today. 31 after the hour. Time for the news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Let's agree on this point. Long waiting for a visit to the doctor stinks. Long wait times when you get to the doctor, that stinks as well. You don't receive either of those things at Grace Point Healthcare. They don't believe in those types of things. Grace Point Healthcare believes in helping you right now, today or tomorrow. That's oftentimes what they're going to say when you call them and ask for an appointment at Grace Point, even for brand new patients. Grace Point Healthcare is located in Franklin, 599-6868, by the way, 599-6868. We call them modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way because it's a direct pay primary care physician's practice, meaning you pay Grace Point, and then you can file with your insurance company for reimbursement after the fact. Bottom line is this is the way that it should be because it keeps prices low at the point of payment. Plus, with the basic Smart Care plan, you pay $99 a month and you get unlimited office visits for the entire year. That's the way it ought to be. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Go today in Franklin. Oh, man, I wish I'd – by the way, Matt Murphy wins nincompoops today. It can happen every so often. Ken Weaver wins for the week. RJ, good effort. Good try there, buddy. Next time, I feel you.
Hey, like I said, I'm coming back with the Missouri stories. I'm going to use the home state, and I'm going to win.
I wish I'd had this story. Someone sent me this. Loyal listener sent me this on is this on the Instagram? This would be a good nincompoop. I almost don't want to. I mean, although it is how old is this story? I don't know. This is a pretty well-known story, but I'll just share this with you real quick, and then I'll tell you about Nashville Fairgrounds. This is a literal nincompoop story. A traveling circus performance in Des Moines, Iowa took a, quote, disastrous turn after trapeze artist Jake the Flying Eagle Anderson lost control of more than just his grip. Anderson, 34, had been battling what his colleagues described as food poisoning. After this has to be a fake story. This has to be fake, although there's video. There's video of this. Okay. Described as food poisoning after eating a gas station sushi burrito, but insisted on performing his signature eagle dive despite warnings. He kept saying the show must go on between trips to the bathroom. Anderson's longtime performance partner, Elena Mitchell, said he was popping Imodium like Tic Tacs, but you could tell from his face something wasn't right. The incident occurred mid-routine during the eagle dive, when the front section, seats A1 through D7, were unexpectedly caught in what was later described as the splash zone. James Thornton, who attended with his wife for their anniversary, said, I paid $189 for a premium experience. Her cashmere sweater is ruined, and I'm trying to process what just happened. The situation was reportedly made worse by high-powered fans, which are used during the aerial performance, which
spread the, quote, splatter. The show was immediately halted. Clowns attempted to assist. They slipped, adding to the pandemonium. The circus later confirmed that 23 separate spectators were affected. They issued refunds and offered complimentary tickets to a future show. Remarkably, the circus, their remaining shows sold out, with scalpers reportedly charging triple for seats outside of the newly established safety perimeter. That was offered to me by a loyal listener. Thank you for that. Trapeze artist with stomach issues mistakenly. Well, I don't know. I don't guess I have video, but I've got some photographic confirmation of the situation. But that would certainly qualify as a Ninkham poop. On a more serious note, several of you offering comments on the super text line regarding the conversation involving the ability to not take part in life any longer. Let's just put it that way. When you so choose. Scott writes in and says, I had to go to Montana last week to be with my mother as she passed away from a battle with pancreatic cancer. The most brutal thing about it was seeing her there after cancer had destroyed her body. She looked like a mummy they had dug up. She did not have access to assisted death, but I believe if she had, she would have given instructions that at whatever point she became irresponsible to call the doctor to end her life rather than waste away. Please consider us brave when we have to make that decisions. People consider us brave when we have to make that decision with pets, to put them to sleep, then administer drugs to stop their hearts. But when someone expresses their desire to take that into their own hands, people call them monsters, accuse them of going against God's will. I'm guessing based on what you've said, you probably are in favor of this. Whether you are or aren't, you should watch. I don't know this. How to Die in Oregon. I watched this years ago. Here's the thing. I think I've stated my belief on it, and I've gone through something that wasn't quite to that extreme, but I believe that there are circumstances that should be out of government's control, that we should lead by our own faith, and we should be left to our own determination as to what is best for us, or in some cases best for our families. That's what I believe. And some disagree, and I understand that. I'm a physician, writes 1148. If I had a patient who was a friend, an older friend who developed dementia, he did not want to be a burden on my family. Oh, I had a patient who was a friend who did not want to be a burden on his family. He went to a state where there was assistance. Rules were strange. I learned about them because of the physician who was helping him in that state. They have to enroll in a program and demonstrate that they're of sound mind. When they're ready to end things, they have to still be of sound mind. No, I understand that they go through an extreme process to make sure that they're people of sound mind when they make these determinations. Obviously, it's a very tender subject. It's frankly depressing to consider it. But we live in a society where, we don't want to consider that these things, these decisions, we've all got it coming. Yeah, one of the oddest things about COVID, one of the oddest things about that era, the media and the way that they attempted to defend the government overreaction to COVID-19, they began presenting this in a way as if we could prevent death, or that if we just listen to the government, that, well, if you do certain things in your life, you can benefit your own health and your own safety. If you take certain actions, you can prolong your life in any myriad of ways. But what struck me was the media, and I'm thinking about CNN primarily. They talked about the counter and how many people had died, and then they began diagnosing how many more people died as a result of Donald Trump's inaction and all of these types of things. And they were presenting this in such a way as that if you just listen to the scientists, you won't die. And I'm sitting there thinking, we all got it coming, kid. Every single one of us has it coming. And ultimately, we decide how that goes down. Well, in many ways, we can help that determination, but we all got it coming. Anyway, Speaking of coming, I promised that I would have this story coming. Those supporters of the Nashville Fairgrounds got some good news today. A Davidson County Chancery Court judge has ruled that the decision to certify a petition to amend Nashville's charter to remove auto racing as a protected activity on the Nashville Fairgrounds should be reversed. This is good news for the fairgrounds, y'all. In an April 24th ruling, Chancellor Patricia Head Moskal said the proposed charter amendment, which aims to remove auto racing as an activity required to be conducted at the fairgrounds and remove it with the term, or replace it, that is, with the term affordable and or workforce housing, quote, does not express the subject clearly. Moscow's ruling states that the proposed amendment title, which was updating the functions and duties of the Metropolitan Board of Fair Commissioners, does not connect the subject and which removes a permitted activity on the fairgrounds premises and replaces it with something new. Former Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway racer Neil Chafin filed the lawsuit aiming to overturn the petition. In the lawsuit, he argued that the petition should be voided because of a technical concern, since the proposed charter revision language included in the petition inaccurately uses the terms Tennessee State Fair and Tennessee Fairgrounds instead of Nashville Fairgrounds. It should be rendered invalid. But on that front, Moscow disagreed in her ruling, noting the petitioners are not responsible for updating out-of-date language. But in a statement following the ruling, Chafin claimed the petition effort is connected to John Ingram, and it is. Let me give you the bottom line on this. They intentionally were obscure in their language. They were intentionally evasive in describing exactly what they were trying to do, and they are obfuscating the situation on purpose to attempt to get stupid people, or let me revise that, ignorant people, not stupid people, ignorant people to vote in their way on this petition. By the way, what was it, 71%, and I guess it's 12 years ago now, or 13 years ago now that this was voted on. 71% of the city of Nashville, Davidson County, voted to keep racing at the fairgrounds. Racing is a protected event in the charter of Metro Nashville, and Metro Nashville is not allowed to just kill it at their desire. This is a John Ingram-led effort. I understand that John Ingram is a powerful person. I understand that John Ingram is a multi-gajillionaire or whatever. And I understand that John Ingram is also a liar. Now, why would you say that, Murphy? Because, well, he lied. What do you call people that lie? You call them liars. We tend to shy away from that nowadays, don't we? But John Ingram told the people of this city, told the people of Nashville, Tennessee, and Davidson County that he supported racing, that he would always support racing, that he would support the Fairground Speedway, and that nothing that he was doing in an attempt to get Geodis Park built was to prevent racing from happening at that facility. What is a lie? A lie is saying something that you know not to be true at the time that you say it. And I am of the position, and I'm happy to debate John Ingram on this point, that John Ingram knew very well that he wanted that racetrack at the time that he built Geodis Park. He knew very well he wanted that property, and he was patient enough to try and get it. Sadly, there are people on the council that are bought and paid for by John through campaign donations and whatnot, and they're not willing to stand up to him. Sadly, the metro area is led by feckless Freddie. Freddie O'Connell is simply not willing to stand up to a multi-billionaire. When the multi-billionaire, it is my understanding, I have sleuths on the ground that indicate to me that John Ingram is holding a few $1 million over the heads of the Metro Council and over the heads of the mayor in quote-unquote affordable housing if and only if they kill the fairground. They need to see, and by the way, for John Ingram, it has nothing to do with the community. It has everything to do with that property and everything to do with Geodis Park as a viable event venue. He does not want to compete fairly with the new fairgrounds that Bristol Motor Speedway is prepared to sink $130 million into building. Bristol Motor Speedway is willing to put $130 million of their own money. It will further abate noise in that community. It will protect the community from any further noise. As a matter of fact, it will abate it by 50%. It will better the community by infusing money into it temporarily and permanently. It will bring a NASCAR race back to that community, which is going to bring untold amounts of dollars into Nashville, Tennessee, generally speaking, and specifically into the Wedgwood area. It is an absolute no-brainer that we do this. And the only reason, in my opinion, that we've not done it, there are two reasons. Number one, first and foremost and primarily, is John Ingram. John Ingram has enough money, he has enough clout, and he owns enough Metro councilors that Freddie believes he can't get the votes. Sadly, Freddie's not willing to stand up to him publicly in the way that I'm doing right now and call this like it is. If you had a mayor in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'd say, Freddie, if you're listening, I'm telling you this, if you've got a mayor in Nashville, Tennessee that has the cojones as the C.J. Jones, or the C.H. Jones, I guess it is, the cojones, I think that's what Phil used to say, to call this out like it is, that you have a very powerful multi-billionaire that wants that property for themselves and doesn't want to see competition with regard to event space, concerts and that sort of thing. It's not really about soccer competing with racing. Racing has given up that ground. Racing has already said, we'll work with your schedule, soccer club. We'll work around your schedule. They're literally adding, they have 9 dates in the charter now. They're literally adding 1 date in the charter. And yet still Ingram says no, because he doesn't want to fairly compete. He wants to buy people off and take that which he promised he never would want. And it's wrong. So, that said, all of this petition was an attempt to amend the charter to eliminate racing from the facility. Now, John Ingram has another play, has another arrow in his quiver, and that is to keep this off the vote and to wait out Bristol and wait for Bristol to pull their offer. And if you're not familiar with the offer is basically a $130 million deal where they lease the facility for 30 years. They're committed to sink $130 million into completely rebuilding the facility to make it viable for NASCAR and other events, to make it the crown jewel that it once was in this community, and to bring back that shine on the facility. And it has to be, otherwise it will cease to exist within 4 or 5 years, and John Ingram knows that. I'm sad to know that there's not a single counselor, and there's certainly no one in the mayor's office that's willing to tell you the truth about what's going on. But that is the truth about what's going on. And thankfully, this ruling by Chancellor Judge Patricia Head Moskal was the right one. It was intentionally vague on purpose, for the purpose of confusing people to the point that they don't understand what they're voting on. It won't be on the ballot this November, and that's good news. Now, if Freddie O'Connell had any testicular fortitude, he would bring it up to the council for a vote. It's ready for a vote. The contract's ready for a vote. It was already approved by the Fair Commission. Bring it to the council. And Freddie's told me on multiple occasions on my radio show, I don't bring it to a vote because it will fail. Let it fail then. Let's get these people on record as to where they stand. Do you stand with the people of this community? Do you stand with the people of the Nashville Fairgrounds? Do you stand with improving that community? Or do you stand with John Ingram and big money? Let's get you on record. It is 54 after the hour. You're listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Legendary coach Lou Holtz once said, before people spend money, they ask 3 questions. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? And do you care about me? Friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I can say with Eurofix, those 3 answers are an emphatic yes, yes, and yes. Back in 1999, owner Aaron Stokes was by himself in a one-car garage in downtown Franklin. A few months later, he moved into a shop in a barn behind his house so he could stay close to his family while building his dream of offering the best European vehicle repair at below dealer pricing. Flash forward to today. The barn's gone, and sadly, I'm here to say that Aaron is gone too. But Eurofix is continuing that tradition that he laid out over the 26 years that he was a part of the Eurofix family and really the driving force behind it. thriving in 5 separate locations: Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty. Free, a rental car available at every appointment. Friends, it is time. If you want solid European auto repair, get to Eurofix. Go to myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com.
Indeed. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We are winding things down live from Twin Creeks Marina. We are at Timms Ford Lake, and we invite you to be down here, too. I'm telling you, folks, I just want to remind you what a wonderful facility this is and what great folks to have us down. They have so much going on at Twin Creeks Marina, and we love coming down here during the summer. We do it probably, 3 or 4 times, maybe 4 or 5 times per year. I invite you to swing in. They've got cabin rentals. They've got Airbnbs. They've got an RV park, as Scotty mentioned earlier, and, of course, the great drafts and watercrafts restaurant. The resort itself is just over an hour away from Nashville. And if you didn't get down this time, next time we'll let you know, and we'll be here again soon at Twin Creeks. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you avoid the raindrops that are no doubt coming in at some point over the course of the evening. And enjoy yourself. Get a little R&R. We'll be back on Monday afternoon. Dan Mandis will crank things up at 5 a.m. Chris Hand after that. Chad Benson after that. And then here we are at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thanks to Kirby on site. Thanks to RJ back at home base. Thanks to Ken Weaver. Matt Murphy speaking and saying, hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.